Captain, don't be like this. Captain, don't be like this. Long Fei coughed and said, Don't listen to their nonsense. I'm fine. I felt a little muddled just now, and now I'm fine. Wang Shuyun's body felt like it had been electrocuted and immediately bounced back. Her face turned even redder. Long Fei was also a little embarrassed. He glared fiercely at Xiao Bai and bellowed, You are the smug one. Xiao Bai lewdly smiled and said, Boss, am I very good at this? Heh. Yes, very good. Pa. Long Fei slapped his wolf butt and said, If you continue to speak nonsense next time, it won't be as simple as beating your little brat. It'll just be playing around with you. Xiao Bai instantly shrank, feeling incomparable misery. Flattery is really not simple. Was it a mistake again? It was true that Long Fei liked beauties, but he also had his principles. Since he didn't like it, he definitely wouldn't touch it. Because if Wang Shuyun were to kiss her, as a girl, how would she be able to meet others in the future? Should Long Fei take it or not? If she didn't accept it, she would definitely be sad. Thus, Long Fei did not let Wang Shuyun kiss her, because he did not want her to be sad in the future. Wang Shuyun laughed awkwardly and said, It's good that you're fine. It's good that you're fine. You're the strongest member of my king's legion. If you have anything on your mind, my army will suffer a huge loss. He spoke boldly. In his bold and unrestrained manner, he concealed a little loneliness. Long Fei stood up, reverting back to his original body state. He said, The Scarlet Soul Old Man is dead, but the Scarlet Soul clan was not exterminated. They could pounce back at any time. I want to go to the Devil's Sect. Old Demon Red Soul was considered the vanguard. After tens of thousands of years, just how far had the Red Spirit race spread out to sea? No one knew. However, Long Fei knew this very clearly. Amongst the 5 great regions of Sky Martial Continent, the entire southern domain was the weakest, and if the Scarlet Soul Tribe was located in one of the other 4 territories, then their strength must be extremely strong. He had to let the Devil Sect make proper preparations. Long Fei moved, his eyes staring at the God's Devil Ancient Case in the air. Shua! The God's Devil Ancient Case landed in Long Fei's hands. There was one more thing inside, and that was the God's Devil Blood, a drop of blood essence floating above the sea of blood. Huff! Long Fei exhaled, turned around to look at Arhut, and said, I am a demon, you already understand. Will you follow me in the future? Time was almost up. He could only ask this once. Regardless of whether he succeeded or not, Long Fei respected his decision. Everyone looked at Arhut. Li Yuanba took out the angry thunder and said, Old Third, I am also a demon. If you follow Boss will definitely give us an incomparably wonderful world. Moreover, you want to unleash the power in your body. Boss can definitely do it for you. Li Yuanba advised. He really wanted Arhut to follow him, because he especially liked this thin and weak youth. Arhut, the reincarnation of the Holy Buddha, born with the power to kill demons. King Kong Exorcism Wand was the nemesis of the demons. He looked at Long Fei seriously, clasped his hands together, and said faintly, Amit Ba, can you give me the God's Devil Blood? Long Fei was a little unable to react and asked, What did you say? Arhut once again said seriously, I want the God's Devil Blood. Can you give it to me? Without any hesitation, Long Fei directly took out that drop of blood essence from the God's Devil Ancient Case and said, This is the God's Devil Blood. Immediately, Arhut took a step forward, grabbed that drop of God's Devil Blood, and swallowed it. Buzz! A bloody light flashed. Arhut's eyes were malevolent. He raised his head and roared angrily. Streams of demonic chi and blood rushed out from his body. His body was also crazily changing. All the heads fell off, revealing a bloody head. A blood tattoo appeared on the head. A demon was struggling and trying to break through, but it was suppressed by the power of the Holy Buddha inside the Arhut's body in the end. Following that, it turned into a blood-colored tattoo which covered the entire head. The runes were like earthworms, but there was nothing that could be seen. However, waves of sinister hell spirits spread out. It was also at this moment The devilish aura diffused from the Arhut's body changed into the eerie aura of death in the infernal realm. He looked like a person who had crawled out from the 18th floor of hell. He gave off the feeling that he was a demon from hell, the ruler of the infernal realm, falling to the path of demon through hell. Bedevilment in the infernal realm. Arhut's expression was incomparably pained, malevolent. His body was trembling, his heart was roaring unceasingly because the King Kong exorcism wand kept bombarding his mind. Unendurable pain. His heart roared. I want to do whatever I want. I want to be the master of myself. I am me, not anyone's puppet. Even you. The King Kong exorcism wand continued to suppress and resist, causing the god's devil blood to evolve crazily. Finally, the appearance of the Holy Buddha's power calmed everything down. He won. The King Kong exorcism wand quieted down, and from a long floating youth, it turned into a bald youth. Runes from the depths of hell. His eyes were bloodshot, and they had matured from their young and tender appearance. The clothes wrapped around the King Kong exorcism wand also turned into powder and quietly floated beside him. At this moment, the Arhut gripped, and the King Kong exorcism wand suddenly shook. Under the intense vibration, the Arhut's hand released a surge of hellish power and firmly suppressed it. And then, Arhut clasped his hands and said faintly, Ba. Enchanted. He too was possessed. Long Fei was shocked. Li Yuanba was shocked. Everyone around was shocked and in the same state. Even the Yin Huang ancestor was stunned. Holy Buddha was reincarnated yet was bedeviled? Good, very bold. It really is unexpected. Ha! Brat, you've picked up a treasure. At this moment, Arhut walked to Long Fei's side and said respectfully, Boss. The voice was very heavy. It was as if a huge mountain was crushing down on him. The flames in Long Fei's heart were ignited all of a sudden as he laughed. Ha! Li Yuanba also laughed. OL3. Arhut said to Li Yuanba, Second brother. Li Yuanba laughed foolishly and said, OL3, what are you thinking? How did you become bewitched? Arhut said indifferently, You guys have already become bedeviled. How can I be bewitched? If I don't become bewitched, how can I follow your rhythm? Long Fei was a demon. Li Yuanba was a demon. Arhut knew clearly in his heart that if he was not a demon, how could he continue to walk with Long Fei? He clearly understood the power within his body. If she wasn't a demon, she wouldn't be able to follow Long Fei. Thus, he fell into hell and became a demon. This way, he would be able to follow Long Fei and continue onwards. It was just as Li Yuanba had said, Long Fei could give him a wonderful world. For more than 10 years, he had been living a useless life. Strongest upgrade system now. He wanted to follow Long Fei, do whatever he wanted, and live an unscrupulous life. The second Great King Kong returned. Ding. Chapter 48_8419/2356665. The system beep rang. The system beep rang. Ding. Congratulations to player Long Fei for completing the Subduing the Arhut quest. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining 100,000 experience, 1,000 true chi, 1,000 points. Ding. Begin mission. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining a D-level reward. Long Fei did not feel sad. Instead, he laughed out loud. How can a system reward be compared to a demon subduing Vajra? Let alone a grade D, even a grade Z doesn't matter. This was the first time Long Fei laughed like this. Even though the system gave him a very low score, he was still smiling. It doesn't matter. The reason was that the 8 Vajra was even more powerful. We still need 6 more King Kong. Long Fei thought, I have been bewitched, Li Yuanba has been bewitched, even the Arhut has been bedeviled. Even the 2 Vajra have been bedeviled then. Could be that all 8 Vajra were demons? This will be fun. The demonic flames will soar to the heavens. Inwardly, he was excited. In his heart, Long Fei was looking forward to the day when the 8 great King Kongs were gathered. Standing in front of the 8 Vajra, it was as if he had come out of hell. That scene was simply too cool to describe. Long Fei laughed excitedly. To the demon sect. Boss, what should we do with her? Li Yuanba pointed at Xie Qin, who was lying on the side. Long Fei's heart tightened. He was too excited just now that he almost forgot about Xie Qin. Out of the 8 war emperor realm experts of the 8 great demon sects, only Xie Qin was left. She only had 3 days left to live, if not to save her. I'm afraid Long Fei felt a little guilty. Basically, the 8 great war emperor rankers died protecting him, so he owed the 8 great demon sects a debt. Xie Qin even helped him block the palm strike from the Scarlet Soul Old Man ancestor. I want to save her. We must save her. Long Fei was very anxious in his heart. Xie Qin cannot die. Yan Huang ancestor slightly said, I just found a book called Soul Refining Technique in your space ring. You only need to cultivate this technique to save her. Her soul was severely injured, and your soul refining art is just enough to heal her. Soul training skill? Long Fei was secretly shocked. Just now, when he revealed the Sky Demon set, he did not care about anything else, and only after hearing what the old ancestor said did he notice it. Immediately, Long Fei moved and said, Cultivate. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for training the secret skill Soul Refinement Technique, for obtaining 100 experience points, True Chi 100 points, and the reward is 100 points. Cultivation Method, Soul Refinement Technique Grade, Divine Level Proficiency, 0/1 Consumption, 2 Cooldown, 24 hours Description. This cultivation technique can refine the soul of a person, the soul of a demon beast, the soul of all intelligent life forms can be refined. The stronger the soul is, the stronger the soul can withstand pressure. Description 2. This technique can heal a person whose soul has been severely damaged. Soul training skill? Refining the soul? He can withstand an attack from that pressure? Long Fei laughed crazily in his heart as he said to himself, Suppression, coercion. The attack that brother hates the most is the suppression of realms, the unbearable pain. TL. Pressure equals 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 power 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 equals power. Now that I have the soul refining technique, once I refine my own soul into stronger, no matter how strong the pressure is, it'll be useless. Immediately, Long Fei walked to Xie Qin's side. The idea moved and shouted in his heart. Soul training skill. 20,000 true Chi S used up. A stream of soul power was released and merged into the depths of Xie Qin's soul. Her body trembled slightly. He didn't wake up. Long Fei thought in his heart. Ancestor, why is there no reaction? Yan Huang ancestor disdainfully said, You just started cultivating the soul refining spell. What kind of reaction can you get? Just a few more times, but just now, your soul power had alleviated a lot of her pain. And now that she's been alive for a few more days, it'll be better if you do it a few more times. So it's like that. Long Fei picked Xie Qin up and muttered, Just endure a few more days. I won't let you die. I definitely won't. Thinking about how Xie Qin blocked that palm for him, Long Fei's heart secretly ached. Hugging the boneless Xie Qin in his arms, Long Fei's eyes just happened to be staring at Xie Qin's white chest and that unfathomable deep ravine. Gudong! He couldn't help but swallow his saliva. This was too King tempting. He had to say it. Xie Qin's Twin Peaks was simply too strong. No man can resist it. Moreover, Long Fei was unable to control his hot body and the fragrance that was faintly emitted from his body. He cursed in his heart. Long Fei, you are a King beast. Someone saved you, yet evil thoughts still appeared in your mind. Are you still considered human? CK. I have been a virgin for 2 lifetimes, so it is normal for me to have some thoughts. If I don't have any thoughts, Then am I not gay? She's a zither girl. Do you know who the zither girl is? Do you know how powerful the zither girl is? You don't understand. It was as if two people had appeared within his body. One was righteous, the other evil. Finally, justice was beaten to a bloody pulp. Evil had the upper hand. Long Fei also openly looked at it while swallowing his saliva. If it wasn't for his hands wanting to protect her, he really would have needed it and gotten addicted to it. Too evil. At this time, Wang Shiyin quickly walked over and said, Long Fei, your eyes and mind are filled with evil thoughts. What are you planning to do? Without waiting for Long Fei's consent, she directly took him in. Then, Wang Shiyin ruthlessly looked down on Long Fei. Long Fei unhappily said, Damn, my mind is full of very righteous ideas. He cleaned up a bit. Long Fei and his group of 5 headed towards the dark forest. If he wanted to go to any of the 8 demonic sects, he would have to pass through the dark forest. Maybe that's why. The rise of Sea Devil Emperor would definitely not be suspected by the people from the 8 demon sects. It also allowed the Scarlet Soul tribe to take advantage of the situation and enter. Long Fei thought, once I become the supreme expert of the demon race, I will definitely protect this place well. This was the border of the South Horizon region. Beyond that was the Demon Sea. What was outside the Demon Sea? No one knew. Long Fei really wanted to know, but he was not interested in going out at the moment. He would first overturn Hong Tianjun, and then cripple the Chao Tian sect. A few days later, Xie finally woke up. Long Fei did not tell everyone about what happened in Sea Devil Emperor, and even more so, told everyone not to mention that he had opened the God's Devil ancient case. As for the God's Devil successor, that was even more impossible. If he wanted to conquer the 8 great demon sects, he had to rely on his own strength. Only this way would the 8 demonic sects be convinced. Only this way would they be loyal to themselves. And when they went to the Heaven sect in the future, they would become even more violent. Huff! Long Fei stood within the dark canyon and let out a long exhale. Dark Crow King is in your territory again. Chapter 5 today. The 5 chapters were updated. Tomorrow's update of the sea also tried its best. 8_8419/2356666. Inside Dark Canyon, darkness shrouded everything. Inside Dark Canyon, darkness shrouded everything. Long Fei stood at the mouth of a cliff and looked at the dark peak as he shot into the dark clouds. His heart couldn't help but throb. Dark Crow King. 9 secret underworld finches. I know it's from that novel. That was what he was excited about. However, he looked at Dark Peak and did not move because Yin Huang ancestor said, Don't look anymore. You are not Dark Crow King's match at all. And as for the 9 secret underworld finches, don't even think about it. F***CK. Ancestor, please at least give me some face. It's not good to say it out loud. Long Fei muttered in his heart. I can't even think about it. Last time in the Dark Peak, he was almost burnt to death by the Dark Crow King. Even if he managed to break through the War Elder realm, it was useless. The Dark Crow King was simply too strong. To kill him was as difficult as ascending to the heavens. To subdue him was even more difficult than ascending to the 9th heaven. Long Fei was very clear about this in his heart. Just you wait. I won't believe that I won't be able to get you when I've cultivated the ceiling and the ceiling to the great perfection stage. Long Fei said unhappily in his heart, Hurry up and break through. When you break through to the 9 secret underworld finches, I'll be here, hee hee. And then, Long Fei jumped down the cliff and landed in the valley. Boss, where did you go just now? Find a path. Oh, boss, what other things does your God's Devil ancient case have? Just an empty box. Xie suddenly asked, Are the God's Devil loot not inside? Long Fei shook his head. There are no God's Devil loot, just an empty box. At this point, Long Fei did not lie to Xie. There were indeed no God's Devil loot, but it was not an empty box, but a huge space with a sea of blood inside. Now, thinking about it, Long Fei was also a little puzzled, It's not like the blood water in the sea of blood is the blood essence of the sky demon. What's the use of making a whole sea of blood? Ancestor, do you know? Yin Huang Ancestor pondered for a moment and said, that is not an ordinary sea of blood. That is the myriad demon's blood pool. Huh. Long Fei's mind suddenly tensed up and asked, what is the 10,000 Devil Lake? Yin Huang Ancestor replied, I'm not too sure either. Based on my current strength, I only know that this 10,000 Devil Lake is able to quickly cultivate demonic attribute spirit grass, and it has the effect of increasing their growth rate. As for the rest, I don't know yet. However, Brat, you have picked up a good treasure. Even magic Buddhist relics, God's Devil Blade, and Sky Demon's blood essence, these things added up together don't even compare to 1/10,000th of this God's Devil ancient case. F*CK. Long Fei was immediately scared. Ancestor, my liver is not good. Don't scare me. Buddha magic relic was a divine item. Heavenly demon blood, God's Devil Blade are even more of a divine level item, but it is not even 1 in 10,000? Then how strong was the God's Devil ancient case? It was hard to imagine. Yin Huang Ancestor laughed. I studied the runes on the box. The order of the runes on it is extremely complicated. Even I am unable to understand it. Just based on the sky demons of the Tianwu continent from tens of thousands of years ago, he cannot understand the runes on the box. I'm sure that this box was obtained by a fortuitous encounter of his. His name is God's Devil Ancient Case. In fact, it has nothing to do with sky demons. The God's Devil Blade, Buddha magic relic, and the disappeared God's Devil Loot should have been refined using the 10,000 Devil Lake in the ancient box. Promotes the growth of spiritual medicines and forges them into demonic weapons. This is the function that I know now. I estimate that it took the heavenly demon countless years to unravel the secrets in the ancient box. If he were to fully unravel it, I'm afraid, so he won't perish. The Yin Huang Ancestor said indifferently. Towards all this, he was only slightly shocked. Although the Sky Martial continent was not as strong as the Chaos Realm, it was still an ancient continent that had existed for 1 trillion years. It was normal for it to produce some heavenly treasure. Not to mention, the Tianwu continent had countless of strong warriors, so this ancient box might have been left behind by them. Long Fei muttered, according to what you said, as long as I comprehend the secrets on the ancient box, wouldn't I be able to live for eternity? Cough, cough, cough. Yin Huang Ancestor choked. Eternal life? Kid, aren't you being too naive? Even I can't reach the state of eternal immortality. Yet you meditate over a box and can't die forever? You really dare to think about it. The rankings of the warriors in the Tianwu continent continued to increase as their levels increased. The higher one's realm was, the higher one's lifespan would be. However, even if you were the strongest warrior in War King, you would at most live for 1,000 years. If you want to break through this shackle, you need to break through your limits and become an even stronger ranker. Just as Yin Huang Ancestor said, even the Chaos Realm that was filled with experts could not reach the state of eternal immortality. The martial arts training was to fight against the heavens, to fight against the earth, to go against the heavens. Life expectancy was the biggest obstacle. If he wanted to break through the shackles of cultivation, then he would have to constantly break through. Long Fei disdainfully said, I really thought I could live forever. It looks like the novels are all lies. What about becoming a god, becoming a saint, and never dying? They're all lies. The Yin Huang Ancestor asked, what novel? Becoming a saint? Becoming a god? Long Fei immediately changed the topic and asked, Ancestor, you said that the ancient box can help me refine demon soldiers and give birth to spirit grass. How do I use this? The Yin Huang Ancestor said slightly, the refined demon soldiers are currently in the 10,000 Devil Lake. It could transform, but it will also fail, and only the demon soldiers can enter the 10,000 Devil Lake. If it's a magic weapon, it will be devoured after it is thrown in. The same goes for the spirit grass. Once a young spirit grass is thrown into an ancient box, it will quickly grow. As for how much time is needed for it to mature, That will be decided based on the spirit grass's nature. However, the spirit grass produced in the ancient box will increase its grade a bit, and there is a possibility that it can cultivate a divine ranked spirit grass. It will be of great help to you in refining the magic pill. Longfei became excited and thought, what a good thing. He opened up the system to check the attributes of the God's Devil Ancient Case. Item: God's Devil Ancient Case grade. Attribute: description. They were all question marks without any description. However, Longfei believed in his ancestors' words. He would definitely not lie to him, and thought to himself, I have to find a chance and give it a try. Yuanba, Arhut, the two of you, pay attention to the surroundings and see if there are any spirit grass. If you don't believe me, you can get some medicinal herbs. Longfei wanted to test the ancient box's ability to awaken spirit grass. Liu Yuanba scratched his head and laughed foolishly. Boss, where's spirit grass? And then Liu Yuanba saw a handful of lush green grass and grabbed it, asking, Boss, is this a spirit grass? Longfei, Wang Shiyun, and Xie Qin were laughing really hard. Wang Shiyun said, Let me help you gather them. I had learned the harvesting skill before. Table of contents, Xie Qin followed. I'll help you. Just as they were busy searching for the spirit grass, Yin Huang ancestor was lost in thought and muttered, Which expert did this box contain? Chaos Realm doesn't have anything I don't know. Could it be? Is he a ranker from the Chaos Realm? Yin Huang ancestor didn't dare to imagine this. Chapter 18_83566667. Just as Longfei and the rest were entering the dark canyon. On a cliff, the two black figures descended. Old Ghost, are you sure? It shouldn't be wrong. This matter concerns our heavenly demon sect and even the entire South Horizon region. He opened the God's Devil Ancient Case, swallowed the magic Buddhist relics, and then took out the God's Devil Blade. The most important point is that he killed a red spirit chief elder. He is definitely the reincarnation of the Sky Demon. Is the God's Devil token on him? We followed the God's Devil token's aura all the way here. I feel that the God's Devil token is right on that brat's body. Then, he will become our future Jizun. It's extremely difficult to make the 8 great demon sects submit to him. Even if the 8 great demon sects know that he's the reincarnation of a Sky Demon and has a God's Devil token, they still wouldn't submit to him. Old man, we have to help him. That's exactly what I was thinking. The only way to unite the 8 great demon sects is to use external help. What is external help? I want the strongest power in the South Horizon region, Nantian sect, to attack the demon sect from all angles. Only in front of such a powerful enemy can the 8 demon sects unite as one against the enemy. Nantian sect, the strongest sect in the South Horizon region, has 1 million disciples. If the demon sect were to be annihilated, the demon sect would definitely not be able to hold on. I mean, what if all the demonic sects are destroyed? Then our heavenly demon clan is completely finished. This was a huge gamble. He had to live or die. They were betting on the fate of the South Horizon region demon sect. The bet was too big. Huff. Guhan let out a long breath and said, The demons have been oppressed and crushed to the point that they can't even breathe. If this goes on, the devil sect will also be destroyed. Boiling frogs in warm water. This kind of death is too useless for us demons. Old bastard, protect that brat. You help that brat get to the top. I will go and do some big things, with both sides working together. I can make him the Jizun of the demon race. If not, I wonder how much longer I'll have to wait. The demons don't have much time left. Wild Ghost pondered for a moment, clenched his fists, and said, We will do as you say. God's devil ancestor has fallen. South Horizon region is devoid of demons. We must let the devil flames burn again, and let those upright sects know we, the devil race, have never disappeared. Ha ha, ha ha. The two of them began to boil with excitement. Then he transformed into 2 beams of light and flew in 2 different directions. From Tianyan City to Sea Demon King City, then to Dark Canyon, the two of them had been following Long Fei all the way. From his initial uncertainty to his determination just now. The two of them had made the decision that would make them the most excited in their lives. Since the God's Devil token appeared, the reincarnation of a heavenly demon had also appeared. Then their mission would be completed soon. He wanted Long Fei to ascend to the supreme throne of the demon race, and he wanted the entire South Horizon region to know that the Sky Demon had returned. He wanted the demon flame flag to be inserted into every corner of the South Horizon region, completing what the God's Devil ancestor had not done yet. No reaction. An hour has passed, but there's still no response. Ancestor, you aren't lying to me, right? Long Fei's idea stared fixedly at the spirit grass in the ancient box. These spirit grasses that were gathered from the dark forest were all demonic spirit grass. However, even after an hour passed, there still wasn't any reaction. Cough, cough, cough. The Yin Huang ancestor coughed a few times and said, "What kind of reaction do you want the spirit grass to have after an hour? Grow up to be a towering tree, huh? Ugh, you said that this ancient box is mysterious and powerful. Even if it doesn't grow into a towering tree, it can't possibly swallow my spirit grass, right? Look, another spirit grass has sunk into the blood pool." Even Long Fei was speechless. I heard that the Yin Huang ancestor was the one who gave birth to the spirit grass, but for a whole 2 days, the spirit grass was like an ancient box, and there was no reaction. It even devoured his spirit grass. Long Fei secretly shivered in his heart, and suddenly said, "Damn, it wouldn't be the fourth foodie, right?" When he thought of Xiao Bai, Binghua, and the patriarch who was eating holy artifact, Long Fei felt a wave of fear in his heart. Even his liver was trembling, and he prayed in his heart, "Big Sister Xiao Tsong, please bless me." Those who ate spirit stones ate spirit stones, eating holy artifact-s. If there was one more person eating spirit grass, then how would he live his days? There was no way to pass. Long Fei was very worried in his heart. The Yin Huang ancestor muttered, and thought, "There's no reason. Could I have seen wrongly? That's impossible." Without Long Fei's consent, Yin Huang ancestor idea controlled and placed a large handful of spirit grass into an ancient box. Then, there was no then, they were all devoured. God's Devil Blade, Heavenly Demon Armor. The Heavenly Demon Armor clearly contains the aura of power from the myriad demons' blood pool. These items were definitely refined by the myriad demons' pool to become holy artifact, otherwise it would have been impossible. Yin Huang ancestor frowned. After failing for 2 consecutive days, even he was no longer confident. However, without stopping, he threw another bunch of spirit grass into the ancient box. Long Fei wanted to kneel for him. "Brother, I'm begging you, don't hurt my things. If you can't make the spirit grass grow, then don't. Why must you fight with it? Even if you want to compete with it, go and collect your own spirit grass. I still have a large family to support. Can you save some for me? Hey, I'm talking to you." Just as Long Fei was speaking, the ancestor threw another spirit grass into the ancient box. There wasn't even a splash. Long Fei wanted to cry, but no tears came out. Li Yuanba looked at Long Fei's pained face and asked concernedly, "Boss, what's wrong?" Long Fei waved his hand. "Don't worry about me. My liver is aching." At this moment, in Long Fei's heart, Yin Huang ancestor's words were the same as Xiao Bai's ultimate move. He simply could not believe it. He still wanted to leave some spirit grasses to refine and understand the refining process of the magic pill, and then think of a way to transform the Xianming Devil Pill. See if you can remove the side effects of Xianming Devil Pill. But from the looks of it, even if he had a % comprehension ability, it would still be useless because you don't have any spirit grass for you to refine or research. Sai, everything is as fleeting as the clouds. Let him be. Long Fei's liver was in so much pain that it turned numb. No matter how he tried to dissuade her, the patriarch would still throw his spirit grass in one after another. He could not control it at all. /half / float *life. Half a month later. They walked out of the dark forest. The spirit grass that Wang Shiyun and collected were all thrown into the ancient box by the Yin Huang ancestor. It was the same, with no reaction at all. What the F asterisk CK? Chapter 28_8419/2356668. Patriarch, Patriarch, come out. I promise I won't beat you to death. Long Fei was almost unable to bear it. Yin Huang ancestor said in all seriousness, I'm going to cultivate in seclusion. I don't even remember what I said or did before. Then, there was no sound at all. Long Fei really wanted to beat him up. You are ruthless. Was there no reaction at all when thousands of spirit grass were thrown into the ancient box? Not really. They could only see the surface of the blood pool, not the bottom. At this moment, beneath the blood pool, thousands of spirit grass were growing and transforming crazily. However, all of these were things that Long Fei did not know. Yin Huang ancestor didn't know either. 4 days later, Tianyin City. What? Mission failed. My king's points are deducted to negative numbers. Are there still any laws? I refuse to accept this. Wang Shiyun was furious. She could bear with anything except for the matter with the strongest army, which was raging in the mercenary guild. Long Fei could no longer bear to watch any further. Pretending not to know her, he walked out of the hall and took a breath. I wanted to see how many points I could get by completing the mission. I didn't expect. Long Fei laughed bitterly in his heart. The person assigned the mission was dead. How to judge the completion of a task? His employer was dead, so the mission could still be considered completed? If it really was completed, then the hell would happen. On the way here, Long Fei knew that this would happen, but he did not give up. Furthermore, all of the low-level missions that Long Fei had accepted were also incomplete. The gathered spirit grass were all thrown into the ancient box by the ancestor. Seems like the heart of ancient fairy tree's mission still cannot be completed. Long Fei muttered in his heart. Finally, Wang Shiyun had been chased out of the mercenary guild, and her strongest king's mercenary group had received a warning to abolish the army if they dared to cause any more trouble. On what basis? On what basis? Do you know how much effort we've put in? Do you know how difficult this quest is? You guys don't understand anything at all. This mission's difficulty surpasses the SSS level. Do you understand? Wang Shiyun shouted. She was crying out for Long Fei. From start to finish, Long Fei had been carrying it all by himself. The missions were all completed by him alone. The difficulty level was something no one knew. She had seen with her own eyes that a powerful warrior from the War Emperor realm was at least an S-rank difficulty. It was able to directly raise her mercenary group to the B class. As a guild leader, she had to do her best to protect the team's interests. Ha! Ha! The surrounding people who were watching the show roared with laughter. SSS grade mission? Aren't you afraid to laugh your teeth off? Even the employer is dead, yet you still dare to say that you have completed the mission? It's clearly the lowest level escort mission. If you were to say that it's a SSS grade mission, do you really take others as fools? Exactly. What a joke. Everyone mocked Wang Shiyun. She had also become the laughing stock of the mercenary guild, and she had to be mocked every single time she came here. Wang Shiyun looked at Long Fei and asked anxiously, Why are you not saying anything? They're all laughing at us. Why aren't you guys saying anything? You all know how difficult this mission is. Why didn't you say anything? Long Fei looked at Wang Shiyun seriously. If you want to not be laughed at, then show them and prove yourself. The next time you prove it to them, smack them in the face. Smack them in the face. Do you think it's funny? Is it good? Long Fei swept his gaze across the entire audience. The aura of the War Elder was slightly released. Everyone's expression changed slightly as they became displeased. Long Fei was not afraid. Ever since he obtained the attribute of the reincarnation of the Sky Demon, even if he did not become obsessed, he still carried with him the arrogant and tyrannical aura of the Sky Demon. At this moment, a person walked out. With a sneer of disdain, he said, How dare a mercenary group that doesn't even have a rank be so arrogant? Do you really think that just by giving us a name, we can achieve our own strength? The most powerful king. I think he's the strongest trash here. As soon as he finished, everyone burst out laughing. You're right, the most powerful, useless legion. You even want to trick us into getting your points? What a joke. To be so arrogant with just a war elder realm cultivation base, and not paying to take care of himself. Do you really think you're nothing but a root? Another round of laughter. Smile. The corners of Long Fei's mouth curled up slightly, and then he looked at Wang Shiyun and said, Look carefully. And then Long Fei moved, his figure disappearing. He landed in front of the person who stood up, raised his right hand, and slapped down. Pa! It was incomparably loud. Bam! Lying on the floor with his face against the floor, blood spurting out from his mouth, he was unconscious. He had been knocked out with a single slap. Then, Long Fei stepped on that person's head, his gaze sweeping across the entire audience, and said, Laughter, continue laughing. As soon as he finished, his right foot shook. Bang! A powerful force was released, and the head of the person beneath it exploded. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Blood Sea Sect Disciple for obtaining 300 experience, 800 true chi, 100 energy values, 10 points. Long Fei was slightly shocked in his heart and said with a cold smile, To think that he's a disciple of the Devil Sect. Blood Sea Sect was one of the 8 great demon sections. It was also at this time. Long Fei laughed blandly. Continue laughing. The entire audience quieted down immediately. No one could laugh at all. All of them stared at Long Fei with their mouths agape, their brains unable to process what had just happened. He would kill them as soon as they appeared. Was he even human? Level 2 War Elder can instantly kill a 5th level War Elder? This. Long Fei looked at them and laughed coldly. Laugh F***CK. Keep on laughing. Don't you guys like to laugh? F***CK. He directly swore. Everyone was dumbfounded. Long Fei was too arrogant and tyrannical. It was so domineering that it was unbearable. Long Fei looked at Wang Shiyun and said, Did you see it clearly? If anyone dares to mock you in the future, you can do so. Li Yuanba grinned. Arhut did the same, grinning. This is Long Fei. This was their domineering boss. Everyone's minds were crushed by Long Fei. It was as if they had been slapped, their faces burning with pain. Suddenly, a long sword stabbed out. You dare to touch my Blood Sea Sect disciple. You're courting death. The sword pierced through the air, locking onto the space between Long Fei's eyebrows. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister as he said coldly, Is Blood Sea Sect that amazing? Without waiting for his sword to fall, Long Fei's fist exploded boom, with a heavy leap. He leapt into the air, and the shadow of the large power king, Kong, ape superimposed onto his figure. With a hug of his fists, it formed a mountain-hit fist and smashed down heavily. Together with his sword, they killed. That's crazy. There was a corpse on the ground. Everyone's face changed yet again. It was also at this time. From outside the crowd, the sounds of dense footsteps could be heard. A large group of Blood Sea Sect disciples surrounded him, and one of the elders in charge shouted, Blood Sea Sect has things to do. Those who are not involved can just scram to the side. At this moment, Li Yuanba and Arhut took a step forward at the same time and stood behind Long Fei, as if they were 2 great Vajra. Long Fei's mouth curved up, and he laughed. Oh, it's time to give you your experience. Chapter 3, he was in a foreign land paying his New Year respects, and was trying his best to get out 3 chapters. 5 chapters tomorrow. 8_8419/2356669. Tianyun City was located at the border between the Orthodox sects and the Devil Sect. Devil Sect disciples would often appear here. Tianyun City was located at the border between the Orthodox sects and the Devil Sect. Devil Sect disciples would often appear here. However, normally they would hide their identities. This was the first time something of this scale had appeared. There were a lot of disciples in Blood Sea Sect, at least 100 of them. On the plaza of the Mercenary Guild, the other warriors also quickly retreated. The disciples of Blood Sea Sect surrounded Long Fei. The leading elder looked at the 2 dead bodies on the ground and suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. He immediately became furious and shouted, Do you know who he is? Long Fei shrugged and said, You look so ugly. Who knows who you are? You. The elder was so angry that his entire body was trembling. He clenched his fists tightly and shouted, Disciples of the Blood Sea sect, listen up. Huh. The 100 people shouted in unison, their voices shaking the heavens. The elder gloomily replied, Capture all of them and hand them over to sect master. Kid, one of them is the son of the great clan elder of Blood Sea sect, and the other is the son of the clan master. The spectators went into an uproar. All of them had a proud expression on their faces. Arrogant? Now we meet a tough guy, huh? Serves you right. Kid, aren't you arrogant? Continue to be so arrogant. Let's see how long you can continue being so arrogant today. Why aren't you acting crazy? Is War Elder Realm amazing? Do you really take yourself seriously? They had suffered greatly from being crushed by Long Fei just now. And now that this matter had leaked out, they could not help but wish that the Blood Sea sect disciples could kill Long Fei on the spot. Long Fei raised his eyes slightly and said with a sneer, Blood Sea sect is very amazing. I want someone to dare touch me. His voice shook. Long Fei's eyes were filled with killing intent. If not for an elder risking his life to protect him in Sea Devil Emperor, he would have already made his move. He could still wait. His personality was one. If you don't like it, then do it. Just a moment ago, when he was displeased, he instantly killed 2 of them. However, he never thought that it would actually be the son of the Blood Sea sect's sect master and grand elder. So what if it would affect the quest? Have people ride on their heads to shit and pee? This was not Long Fei's personality. The expression of the elder from the Blood Sea sect turned sinister and snorted, I want to see what abilities you have attack. Who dares to capture people on my territory? Without waiting for the Blood Sea sect disciples to surround them, they rushed over to the other side of the street. Boom, 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 boom. His footsteps shook the heavens. Over 1,000 elite guards with long spears surrounded him. Wang Bodong looked like a rich old landowner as he said with a smile, If anyone dares to touch my son-in-law, I'll cripple him. As soon as his voice fell, over 1,000 elite guards surrounded the Blood Sea sect disciples. Wang Bodong walked up and looked at Long Fei, his eyes shining brightly. He laughed. Good son-in-law, no one is bullying you, right? After Long Fei and the others entered the city, he found out. He was very clear about every single move the Tianyin city was making. He knew very well how many disciples the Blood Sea sect had in the city. That was why he brought over 1,000 elite guards. And also, these 1,000 elite soldiers and guards were not ordinary people. Their identities were extremely special. City Governor Wang, I'm really not your son-in-law. Long Fei's heart trembled. His face revealed an awkward expression, but in his heart he thought to himself, the elite soldiers that I brought this time are a little different. Very different. Long Fei was not an idiot. With his current War Elder Realm cultivation, he could instantly see the different chi from the elite soldiers. If he wasn't mistaken, these people should be disciples of some sect. Wang Bodong is a member of the sect. Wang Bodong laughed merrily. I don't care. Anyway, I will leave my daughter to you. You're my Wang family son-in-law. Good son-in-law, tell me, who bullied you? If anyone dares to bully you, I'll immediately cripple them. His tone right now was even more arrogant than last time. He sounded a bit like the mayor of the city. However, he made Long Fei even more certain that Wang Bodong was a member of a sect, and that these 1,000 elite soldiers were all disciples of some sect. If so, then Wang Bodong wouldn't be simple. Being able to mobilize thousands of elite disciples was not something an ordinary sect could do. Wang Shiyin walked forward and said, Father, what nonsense are you talking about? She clearly understood Long Fei's thoughts. Long Fei also laughed slightly. Uncle Wang, with you protecting Tianyin City, who would dare to bully me? No one bullies me. Wang Bodong's eyes turned as he looked at the Blood Sea sect disciple and asked, Then who are they? Long Fei said, I do not know any of them. I think they are all here to perform acrobatics. Huh. Wang Bodong smiled faintly and said, If that's the case. His gaze locked onto the Blood Sea sect elder, and his voice sank as he coldly spoke. What? Aren't you going to scram? If you don't scram now, you won't have a chance later. The Blood Sea sect looked at Wang Bodong, then stared at Long Fei, his eyes narrowing as he said, Brat, our Blood Sea sect will remember this grudge. Sooner or later we will properly settle it with you. Bring the corpses of the 2 young masters with us. Wait. At this time, Wang Bodong took a step forward and said with a smile, You can leave, but as for these 2 dead people, throw it to the back of the mountain and feed it to the dogs. The elder's gaze darkened, and he bellowed, Wang Bodong, one more time. Wang Bodong laughed. These 2 dogs dare to bully my son-in-law. If they don't give me some face, I will really be easily bullied. Throw it to the back of the mountain to feed the dogs. Boom! Over 1,000 elite soldiers took a step forward and shook their feet. As long as the disciples of Blood Sea sect dared to act recklessly, they would definitely shoot and kill without restraint. Wang Bodong had the same expression. If you dare snatch the corpse, he will kill you. He was just worrying that he wouldn't be able to find an excuse. Long Fei's heart tightened. He did not want to make it difficult for the Blood Sea sect, but now Wang Bodong directly pushed him to the side of the cliff. The Blood Sea sect placed everything on his head. He was thinking to make Blood Sea sect submit, I am afraid. Basically impossible. Wang Bodong was too treacherous to humiliate the Blood Sea sect in the name of protecting Long Fei. The Blood Sea sect would definitely remember Long Fei. They would only blame it on him. As Long Fei looked at Wang Bodong's proud expression, he had a feeling that Wang Bodong was going to the Sea Demon King City. Did he know that he was the reincarnation of a heavenly demon? Or could it be, he knows everything? Long Fei immediately became vigilant. Wang Bodong laughed complacently. If you have the guts, try snatching it out. Drag these 2 corpses to the back of the mountain and feed them to the dogs. If they dare to move, kill them. The eyes of the Blood Sea sect elder were completely bloodshot. He stared at Long Fei and said gloomily, Brat, just you wait. Wang Bodong, just you wait. 36. Search. Half floating / equals. Blood Sea sect will definitely repay this matter 100 times. Let's go. The disciples of the Blood Sea sect quickly retreated. Wang Bodong had a complacent look on his face as he turned around to look at Long Fei and said, Good son-in-law, how mighty this father-in-law of mine is, haha. Follow me to the city lord's mansion. Chapter 18_8419/2356670. Long Fei had no way to refuse. Long Fei had no way to refuse. He couldn't refuse either. The look in Wang Bodong's eyes was completely different from the last time. Even if a person could hide it, they could not hide it from their eyes. Long Fei saw unfamiliarity and greed in his eyes. Furthermore, with Wang Bodong's current strength, with over 1,000 sect disciples, Long Fei wouldn't be able to handle this alone. He was too powerful. Long Fei smiled slightly. I was just worrying about not having a place to stay. City Lord Wang's invitation. I can only disturb you then. Ha! Good son-in-law, don't be so polite with me. I've already betrothed my daughter to you, Wang Bodong said with a smile. It was just that, from the moment he appeared until now, his gaze had always been fixed on Long Fei, and he did not even glance at Wang Shiyun, as if his daughter did not even exist. Wang Shiyun also felt a sense of unfamiliarity and said, Father, I didn't agree to marry him. Wang Bodong glared at him and said, What nonsense are you spouting? If I say that I betrothed you to him, then you are his wife. Wang Shiyun's expression changed. Father, there's no room for discussion on this matter. I've already settled the matter with the fortune teller. 3 days from now will be the auspicious day for the wedding. Wang Bodong said very straightforwardly. Long Fei was instantly speechless. Wang Shiyun also had a face full of surprise. Father, what are you saying? What marriage? I won't marry. Not waiting for her to finish. Wang Bodong slightly shouted, Men, take care of the young miss. Without my order, she is not allowed to take even half a step out of the room. Not giving Wang Shiyun the chance to retaliate at all. It was directly locked down. Long Fei slightly said, City Lord Wang, this isn't good, right? Also, Wang Bodong laughed. Women are like this. Once you get back to her, she will be yours, and then she won't be able to leave you. I know this kind of thing better than you, huh? Let's go. You must be tired after this period of time. Go back to the mayor's mansion and have a good rest. Without giving Long Fei any chance to speak, he directly grabbed Long Fei's hand and walked in the direction of the city lord's mansion. Wang Shiyun was locked up. He was also locked down. At the same time, Long Fei felt it and found the Wang Bodong beside him was completely different from the Wang Bodong from a month ago. He was a completely different person, and the aura that was hidden on his body was that of an expert of the War Emperor realm. A War Emperor ranker. It was not Wang Bodong at all. Then who is he? At the same time, Long Fei sent a sound transmission to Xie Qin, who was hidden in the crowd and did not show himself, and said, "Go and check with the Su family's mercenary group. 3 days later, they will be married, and he should be waiting for someone. If I don't come out, you can go back to the evil sound sect yourself, and your injuries will be more or less healed." Xie did not reply. Amongst the crowd, she silently observed Long Fei and thought in her heart, "Wait for me. I will get the people from the 8 great demon sects to come and save you." Then, she disappeared into the crowd and quickly rushed to the Su family. It was exactly as Long Fei had expected. The Su family was completely empty. The headquarters of the A-rank mercenary group had been completely wiped out. There was blood everywhere on the ground, and there were rotten corpses. The Su family had been massacred. The Su family's strength was above the city lord's mansion. Even if Su Tianlei left, Wang Bodong would not dare to act rashly, as he was not too confident in his ability to do so. Unless he clearly knew that Su Tianlei was already dead. In that case, then he would know everything that had happened to Long Fei in the Dark Canyon, and would probably know what had happened in there as well. Xie Qin did not go to the city lord's mansion, but instead frowned, "Wait for my return." Her figure blurred and disappeared into the night. She rushed towards the evil sound sect furiously. She wanted to ask the sect master to come out of seclusion and join hands with the 8 great demon sects to save Long Fei. Because Long Fei was the reincarnation of the sky demons, the supreme being of the demon race. Of course, she was the only one who came back alive from the 8 great demon sects who stole the god's devil ancient case. And she was the only one who believed that Long Fei was the reincarnation of a sky demon. Who else would believe her? City Lord's mansion. Wang Bodong smiled and said, "This is your courtyard. Don't worry. No one will dare to bully you here. In 3 days, you'll be married to my daughter. When that happens, you'll have to call me Dad." He always laughs. The smile was fake, as if it was not even a smile. Long Fei said, "City Lord Wang, aren't you being a little too hasty? Your daughter and I are really just friends, a pure and innocent friendship. She's the guild leader, and I'm a guild member." Without waiting for Long Fei to finish speaking, Wang Bodong interrupted him and said, "Is my daughter beautiful?" "Ugh, beautiful," Long Fei said. Wang Shiyun was indeed good-looking. She should be the most beautiful girl in Tianyun City. Wang Bodong laughed. "Do you like beauties?" Long Fei nodded and said, "I like it." Wang Bodong said, "Then that's fine. You like beauties. My daughter is beautiful. But doesn't that mean you like my daughter? Stop arguing. I'll settle this with my daughter. Just be at ease and be my son-in-law, haha." Finished. Wang Bodong then left the courtyard. Long Fei, his mouth agape and eyes agape, he said, "Is there such a logic in this world? However, if all the fathers in the world are the same as him, then all the beauties in the entire world belong to me, Long Fei." "Ha ha ha." Long Fei laughed, seeing that Wang Bodong had walked far away. His face immediately darkened. Li Yuanba stepped forward and said in a low voice, "Boss, as you expected, this courtyard is at the center of the city lord's mansion, and it is surrounded by patrolling elite soldiers. Their cultivations aren't low at all." Arhut said, "He said he was protecting us, but in reality, he's keeping us under house arrest." "Boss, what kind of background does this city lord have?" As expected, Long Fei frowned and said, I'm not sure where he came from, but his cultivation is very strong, probably not weaker than the old man's level 3 war emperor. What? Li Yuanba's eyes were wide opened. It's another level 3 war emperor? Then what should we do? Arhud asked. What do they want to do? Long Fei exhaled and said, I don't know yet, but it will be clear in 3 days. There's still 3 days left. The two of you cultivate as much as you can. That's the only thing we can do. Long Fei relied solely on the power of the Buddha magic relic to kill the Scarlet Soul old man. Now, with all of the Buddha magic relic used up, it was simply impossible for Long Fei to defeat the level 3 war emperor. 3 days. There was nothing he could do. He couldn't go out, he couldn't level. Baidu's sister-in-law, AA half. Floating life, strongest upgrade system. What could he do? Long Fei definitely wouldn't be able to leave during these 3 days. Huff. I will do my best to train my skills and strive to upgrade Wu Shuang one more level. Long Fei's heart secretly tensed up and said to the two of them, you two should cultivate as well. Chapter 28_8419/2356671. City Lord's Mansion. City Lord's Mansion in the City Lord's Courtyard. Wang Bodong looked at the moon with his hands behind his back, and a faint smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. A disciple walked into the courtyard. Reporting to the elders, Long Fei and the other two haven't come out from the courtyard. Wang Bodong stared at him. What did I say? The face of the disciple immediately changed as he said fearfully, Sir Mayor, Humph, if you dare say anything wrong next time, your little life will be gone. Wang Bodong coldly snorted and asked, they don't want to come out and walk around? The disciple replied, no. After entering the courtyard, there was no reaction. Aha! The corner of Wang Bodong's mouth curled up as he laughed complacently. I thought you were very smart, but you also have a pig's brain. You wouldn't be able to walk when you hear about beauties. Ha! This way is also good. It'll save me some time of explaining and drooling. As far as he was concerned, Long Fei coveted Wang Shiyun's beauty, hence she stayed behind. Continue monitoring. Yes, sir. Wang Bodong pondered for a moment and said, also keep a tight watch on Wang Shiyun. In these 3 days, nothing must go wrong. Otherwise, if young master blames someone, it's not something that you and I can bear. Yes, sir. The disciple left. Wang Bodong continued to look at the moon as he muttered to himself in a low voice. As long as young master is able to obtain the God's Devil Ancient Case, his strength will definitely increase greatly. What does a mere Hong Tianjun count for? The title of number 1 genius of the South Horizon region is about to be changed. The South Horizon region should be controlled by Nantian's sect to begin with. Just based on Hong Tianjun becoming the leader of the South Horizon region? Ridiculous, extremely laughable. Just you wait. His goal was the God's Devil Ancient Case. As long as Nantian's sect obtained the Ancient Box, he would be able to stomp down the morale of the Heaven sect. If young Master Nantian obtained the Ancient Box, his cultivation would definitely increase greatly, and he would definitely be able to defeat Hong Tianjun. As for, he wasn't sure why young Master Nantian's cultivation had increased so much after obtaining the Ancient Box. What he needed to do now was to trap Long Fei and wait for young Master Nantian's arrival. Long Fei's room. Long Fei entered the God's Devil space inside the God's Devil token and started cultivating. Wu Shuang. Ding. Proficiency plus 6 points. Boom. The aura around Long Fei's body surged, the power of 4 times the attributes bursting forth. It was as though he was holding that power in his palm. It felt extremely comfortable. Adding 6 proficiency S at once, it's too cool. It's a pity that I can only cultivate demonic arts. Ceiling. Ding. Proficiency plus 6 soul training skill. Ding. Proficiency plus 6 3 blade stream. Ghost slash. Chua. 9 knives force. Comprehension failed. Huff. Long Fei exhaled. Right now, his success rate for releasing the 3 blade stream had already reached 80%. However, The success rate for releasing the Nine Knives force was not even 10%. Even with 200% comprehension ability, it would still be the same. Many things required not just comprehension, but something else as well. Long Fei released all the skills that he could cultivate once. Seeing that all of the skills were in the cooldown, his mind was thinking of something else. To be able to comprehend 3 blade skills, 9 knives force, then I can also comprehend something else. Sauron's 3-blade stream is arrogant and domineering. Can you comprehend the sword skill of Hawkeye? A red blade is also good. Whitebeard's Seism fruit. Blackbeard's power of darkness. Then, Long Fei crazily thought about these moves in his mind. He simulated them over and over again, his grasp over overbearing and how to release them. Then, he held it in until it was over. Half an hour passed. He couldn't hold it in for a while. Come out your ass. Xiao Bai immediately laughed. Ha ha. Ha ha. Boss, so you're the same as well. You've been holding back for so long. Ha ha. He was rolling on the ground laughing. Long Fei glared at him and said coldly, Xiao Bai, come out. I just happen to need a sparring partner. Xiao Bai was in a state of cultivation and said, Master, I want to cultivate. I want to comprehend a big move. Ice and Fire said, Master, how about I practice with you? Xiao Bai looked at the fire and ice with a face full of admiration and muttered, There really are people in this world who aren't afraid of death. Fire and ice were much simpler. Xiao Bai was completely an old cunning fox. Long Fei said, All right, come out and practice with me. After you finish, it will be time for Xiao Bai. You two lack too much battle experience, so you must train well. Ice and Fire appeared in front of Long Fei. Long Fei said, Use all of your strength. Don't worry about hurting me. He spread out his ice and fire wings and said, Master, I'll attack. Shwa. His throat churned as flames spurted out. Long Fei slightly shouted, The speed is too slow. The intensity of the flames are too weak. It's not enough. It's not enough. The moment the flames fell, Long Fei's voice had already disappeared above the head of the ice and fire god's head as 2 fists descended. The reaction of the ice and fire was not slow either. With a flap of its wings, it immediately turned its body and flew sideways, dodging Long Fei's fists. Flipping his body, he flew up into the air, and the flames became a fireball. Pong, pong, pong. A sky full of fireballs appeared in the blink of an eye. Long Fei said, slightly, The fireball is not bad, but it's still too late. Teleport. Chua. It instantly appeared in front of Ice and Fire. Uppercut fist. Boom! After flipping over the ice and fire with a punch, Long Fei followed suit and said, Take advantage of his illness and kill him. Without waiting for the fire and ice to stabilize, he once again launched a barrage of attacks, giving the fire and ice no chance to attack. Boom, boom, boom. Kit. Long Fei's fist landed on the head of the ice and fire, but did not strike it down. Master, you're too awesome, Icefire said with a look of adoration. Now it's brother Xiao Bai's turn. Without waiting for Long Fei to control it, Binghua quickly returned to War Pet space. Now he finally knew why Xiao Bai wasn't willing to come out. Long Fei moved and said, Xiao Bai, come out right now. Xiao Bai shook his head like a rattle drum and said, Master, I still want to live a few more years. Long Fei said, Both of you, come at me together. Come out. If you don't come out, don't even think about eating another spirit stone. Xiao Bai and Ice and Fire were both stunned. Spirit stones were the source of their power. Xiao Bai said naively, Master, then you must be lenient. Roar. Ice and Fire, let's go. A wolf and a dragon were fighting. Long Fei continuously released skills. Xiao Bai and the fire and ice kept attacking each other, causing the sky to darken and the ground to darken. It was as if the world was coming to an end. Strongest upgrade system. On the 3rd floor of the God's Devil space, Long Fei cultivated for 3 times more time, and the consumption of his true qi had been reduced by 3 times as well. Not to mention, he still had the Heavenly Demon Heart scripture, which could instantly restore the true qi to full. Long Fei was crazy. He was training his skills like a devil. Chapter 38_8419/. 2, 3, 5, 6, 6, 7, 2. The first day passed. The first day passed. Long Fei did not take a step out of the courtyard. When Wang Bodong came to visit him during this time, he was even more at ease when he saw Long Fei's perverted look. Is there a man in this world who doesn't like beautiful women? If not, then he must be a gay. Long Fei was no exception. The next day, Long Fei pointed out Li Yuanba and Arhot's cultivation. Yuanba, you train in power. Pure power. Awaken the power within your body, and awaken the hidden godly strength within your blood vein, causing your power to increase explosively. Arhot, your cultivation is different from Yuanba's. The power in your body is the power of the Holy Buddha, and you also have the power of demon subduing. You need to learn how to combine these two powers in order to maximize your strength. 3 days have already passed. We don't have much time left. 2 days later, we are going to face a fierce battle. Long Fei could tell from Wang Bodong's expression. He was feeling proud. He was extremely pleased with himself. If Wang Bodong was a level 3 war emperor cultivator, if he did not make a move, then he was waiting for an even more powerful person to appear. Without a doubt, this person was stronger than him, and their status was more precious than his. Similarly, there was no doubt that this was a man. This was also the reason why Long Fei didn't leave. Li Yuanba said naively, "Thank you, boss." Arhut was the same, his heart filled with gratitude. You guys continue your cultivation. I'm going to cultivate inside the house. No one is allowed to disturb me. Long Fei could not be disturbed when he entered the God's Devil space. The two of them nodded, "Yes, boss, God's Devil space." Boom! Wu Shuang of the Second Order. Long Fei smiled slightly. "The two of you continue." Xiaobai leaned against Bing Hua and panted heavily. Xiaobai gasped for breath and said, "Master, are you still human? We cannot withstand it even with our demon beast bodies. How did your human body withstand it?" His physical strength couldn't keep up at all. Long Fei panted heavily and said, "People need to be strong, and they need to be strong. How can you call a man if he isn't strong?" Continue. Without waiting for them to get up, Long Fei brought his dragon salyer and cut it down. Xiaobai and Bing Hu were so scared that their faces turned pale. Dodging it quickly, Long Fei really wasn't joking. He really would slash down. Sealing. Crack. Seal successful. "Master, you cheated, I can't move." Xiaobai was suspended in midair by the seal, and his sealing was immediately sealed by it. Long Fei leaped into the air and then smashed down with his fist, KO. Xiaobai was smashed down. The clothes on Long Fei's back were scorched. He retreated and counterattacked. The dragon's salyer moved and directly placed the blade on the dragon's head, and with a movement of the back of the blade, it smashed horizontally. "Ku, I'm not coming anymore. I'm not coming either." It's completely masochistic. The two divine beasts were completely crushed by Long Fei, and Long Fei couldn't help but to control them to run into the war pet space to rest. No matter how Long Fei called for them, they both stopped coming out. "So boring." Long Fei smiled and said, "The battles these past 2 days, you guys should properly experience them." Similarly, Long Fei did not continue cultivating either. He sat cross-legged and was also meditating over his combat experience. Half an hour later, Long Fei used up all of his combat experience for the past 2 days and started to cultivate again. Wu Shuang. Boom. Proficiency +6. A full day passed. Long Fei only stopped cultivating after he was chased out of the God's Devil space. Long Fei regained his original form and looked at his personal stats. Player, Long Fei rank. Level 2 War Elder True Chi. O experience, skills, toting skill, level 3. Dragon Salyer Technique, level 4. Holy Sword 81 moves, level 0. Mountain Hit Fist, level 5. Peerless, level 2. Energy values, points, War Pet. Xiaobai, level 6 Young Beast God. Ice and Fire, level 12, Young Beast God. Lucky value, 20 points. Charm value, 0 points. Skills, unparalleled level. Level 2 proficiency. Description, currently able to activate level 2 unparalleled, 4 times the attribute strength. Long Fei muttered to himself. Proficiency who still lacks 2,000 points should be able to break through the 3rd level, which is 8 times the attribute strength. In these 2 days, Li Yuanba and Arhut's cultivation had also improved by leaps and bounds. Long Fei would give them some pointers when he had time. The two of them possessed talent akin to humans. They were able to understand one thing at a time. Especially when it came to the stimulation of their own energy, they were as fast as a rocket. There's only 1 day left. Long Fei looked at the night sky. I wonder what Xie is like now. I hope she's all right. Xie injuries had not completely recovered. Her current cultivation could at most reach War Master Reem. At this moment, Evil Sound Sect. The 8 elders of the 8 great sects had all gathered at the Evil Sound Peak. Xie knelt on the ground, his face full of tears. Master, I am not lying to you. The other 7 senior fellow apprentices died because of you. The people of the Scarlet Soul tribe have returned. If not for Long Fei, I'm afraid my disciple would have died there too. Now that he is in danger, I beg of you elders, please send soldiers to save him. Not waiting for her to finish. The Blood Refinement Sect's great elder was furious. Why have the elders of the 7 great demon sects died, and only you return alive? He yelled. Did he give you the god's devil loot? Exactly. It must be because you colluded with him. I don't believe whatever nonsense the god's devil ancient case can only be opened by the god's devil successor. It must be because of you connecting the two of them. Hand over the heavenly demon relic. The god's devil ancestors' remnants were left behind by the 8 great demon sects, not given to you lightly. To think that they would come up with a clan of Scarlet Souls. Back then, the Scarlet Souls tribe was chased for tens of thousands of miles by the ancestor, and they had all been killed by him. Xie, you lied and you drew a rough draft. Do you think we were idiots? No one believed her. They all thought that Xie had colluded with Long Fei. Even the sect master of the Evil Sound Sect was the same. She said slightly, Qiner, are the god's devil loot really in your hands? Xie heart ached as though he was dying, and he said, Master, there's no god's devil loot in the god's devil ancient case. Master, even you don't believe me? The Evil Sound Sect Lord said, How can I trust you if you were to tell me this? The great clan elder from the Blood Sea sect walked out and asked, You said that the Tianyun city's master captured that brat? You said they are sect disciples? Xie nodded and said, Yes, they're definitely sect disciples. The Blood Sea sect elder said, Everyone, why don't we make a trip to the Tianyun city? What do you mean? The corners of the Blood Sea sect elder's mouth lifted as he laughed. Tianyun city lord is an elder of sect. He must have captured that brat for the sake of the god's devil ancient case. Xie immediately became ecstatic and said, Right, you guys hurry up and save Long Fei. Table of contents, save him. Huh. The Blood Sea sect elder laughed out wildly and said, We are going to kill him. And then you. Chapter 48_8419/2356673. On the third day, in the god's devil space, Wushuang, Long Fei trained his unparalleled ability with all his might. The 3-rate peerless technique must be cultivated up. This was the only way to increase his strength in a short period of time. In these few days, Long Fei felt more and more that the power behind Wang Bodong was extremely huge. Whoever he was waiting for, this was a tough battle. Continue. Wushuang. Long Fei was immediately released after the cooldown had ended. Boom. Continue. He didn't stop to rest and continued to improve. In the air above Tianyun City, a white divine beast with wings and a single horn on its head flew down. Unicorn. It was also known as the Heavenly Horse. Divine beast level. Wang Bodong started laughing excitedly and said, Young Master Nantian is here. Boom, boom, boom. Above Tianyun City, the wind was howling. All the people in the city looked up. It's a horned divine beast. This is young Master Nantion Sek's personal mount. Why is young Master Nantion here? Not only young Master Nantion, look behind. Oh my god. Nantion Sek's army of flying beasts is here. What happened to the Tianyan city? Could it be that the mayor's daughter is getting married to have a drink? Does the mayor have that much of face? The young master of Nantion sect. Situ Feng, called young Master Nantion. He is the son of Master Nantion sect. Before Hong Tianjun rose to prominence, he was the #1 genius of the southern domain. After Hong Tianjun rose to power, the battle between him and Hong Tianjun had been defeated in one move, and from then on, he cultivated with all his might. Like a madman, like a devil, he vowed to definitely trample Hong Tianjun to death under his feet. These years, Nantion sect's power had been greatly weakened, and the power of the Rising Sky sect was rising crazily like bamboo shoots after a spring rain. With a lot more momentum than the #1 sect, Nantion sect. All of this was because of one person, Hong Tianjun. His influence was too strong, and at this rate, Nantion sect would be flung several tens of blocks away. He came to Tianyun City this time for the God's Devil Ancient Case. He believed that as long as he obtained the God's Devil Ancient Case, he would definitely be able to stomp on Hong Tianjun because he knew the secret of the God's Devil Ancient Case. It could also be said he was the only person in the Sky Martial Continent who knew about the God's Devil Ancient Case's secret. As long as he got his hands on the God's Devil Ancient Case, he had 100% confidence that he would be able to defeat Hong Tianjun. Situ Feng landed outside the city lord's mansion. Wang Bodong went up to greet him from afar and said respectfully, "Greetings, young master." Situ Feng smiled slightly and said, "Escort, you have done a good job this time. I will definitely get father to give you a big reward." Wang Bodong said excitedly, "It's only right that you die for the young master." Situ Feng asked, "Is that kid still here?" Wang Bodong nodded his head. "He's here. He's waiting for tomorrow's wedding. With one look, he looks like a fool." Situ Feng grinned and laughed complacently. "Tomorrow night is the day of the dark moon. The sky will definitely have a strange phenomenon, and it will also be when that treasure explodes." At that time, he did not continue. He had planned everything. He only waited for the time to come. Wang Bodong's heart trembled. The day of Een Moon, the sky must have a phenomenon? The young lord has indeed taken care of everything. A few minutes later, a large group of Nantion sect Bird Legion landed. There were more than 2,000 elite disciples. All of them were Elder Realm experts. This time, Nantion sect had to ensure that there were no mistakes. Situ Feng gloomily muttered, "After tomorrow, the entire South Horizon region will be trampled under my feet." "Just you wait, huh?" Situ Feng brought Nantion sect's avian army over. When night fell, the 8 great demon sects led thousands of demon sect experts to infiltrate Tianyan City. They did not act immediately. The best time to make a move was when they were married. The surprising thing was, Xiaqin did not appear. She was imprisoned by the evil Sound sect. The remnants of the god's devil ancestor belongs to our devil sect. If anyone dares to touch them, kill them. Long Fei's room. Wushuang. Boom. Wushuang. He was still cultivating his skills and was getting closer and closer to the 3-rate peerless technique. Early morning, he once again entered the god's devil space and started cultivating. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up to level 3. Huff! Long Fei exhaled and muttered, Finally, I've leveled up." Looking at the attribute of the 3-rate peerless technique, Long Fei's heart started to boil. 3-rate peerless technique, 8 times the attribute strength. Aha! Let's enjoy a bit first. Long Fei moved. 3-rate peerless technique, open. Bam! Long Fei's body was swelling up. The power in his body seemed like it was going to break out of his flesh. This feeling, too awesome. Boom! Long Fei moved his right fist, and with a sudden punch, a visible image of his fist's astral energy exploded outwards. It would be easy to kill a 5-level monster with a single punch. Level 3 War Emperor? Haha! Long Fei started to laugh maniacally in his heart. The three-rate peerless technique had been upgraded. This was his strongest trump card. No matter what kind of rancor he would face tomorrow, Long Fei was no longer afraid. Not as high as you. Not afraid. This old man will blast you to death if I call you Wuxuan. Just like that. Suddenly. Long Fei looked forward to tomorrow's arrival a little. Tomorrow will definitely be a bustling day. Hope is yet another wave of experience. Excited. Long Fei looked at the time. There was still a period of time before daybreak. What should I do? It was no longer possible to upgrade his skills again. Let's see if I can comprehend any powerful moves. Long Fei secretly thought in his heart. If the One Piece's techniques are not good, then what about the fire ninjas? One Piece was Long Fei's favorite. It was the shadow of a fire. Other than the action films on the bed, Long Fei only had these two anime things from the island. Fire shadow. Flame shadow. Long Fei's mind started to work frantically. The 200% of the heavenly demon transcendence's comprehension ability also started to circulate rapidly, using the true chi as the chakra energy. Energy revolution. His hands formed a seal. Ding. Comprehension failed. Ding. Comprehension failed. The sounds of failure continuously rang out. Was not discouraged. Failure would mean success for his mother. As long as he worked hard enough, there would always be a chance of success. He wanted to comprehend Rachel in his mind. No. Then he changed it, because he felt that this move was even more powerful. Shadow clone technique. Moreover, he had to train to have 2 clones, and no clones with fake clones. An hour passed. Long Fei was still defeated. Another hour passed, but it was still a failure. At dawn, Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. His true chi moved, his hands quickly forming a seal. Multiple shadows. Open for me. Ding. Chapter 5. That's all for today. 8_8419/2356674. Early in the morning, Wang Bodong walked into Long Fei's courtyard. My good son-in-law, today is your wedding day. Wang Bodong was all smiles, and the smile on his face today was evidently much more genuine than the smile he showed a few days ago. Obviously, the person he was waiting for had arrived. Long Fei returned to his original body with a smile on his face. He walked out of the room, looked at Wang Bodong, and said, City Lord Wang, I feel that a marriage shouldn't be played around. It's better to ask Shiyun if she agrees. It's better if I do. Wang Bodong laughed. You can rest assured I will decide on my daughter. Just be at ease and be my son-in-law. You'll have to call me Dad after today. Long Fei laughed and cursed in his heart. Grandson, are you taking advantage of me? Wang Bodong waved his hand and said, These are the clothes I prepared for you. The groom must have the appearance of a groom. I got someone to customize these for you. They took quite a bit of time. You have to wear them, or else I'll have to let you down. Long Fei looked at the bridegroom's clothes that he sent over. They were indeed extravagant, and each of them was inlaid with a special kind of gold wire material. Very special. Long Fei said, Many thanks, City Lord Wang, for your good intentions. I will wear it. Wang Bodong laughed. Then I am relieved. You still have one morning to prepare, and will be bowing to the heavens and earth in the afternoon. Finished. Wang Bodong laughed and walked out of the courtyard. Long Fei looked at the groom's uniform on the table and laughed bitterly. You are getting married for no reason. This groom's uniform, it's really special. Long Fei felt around. He felt that the material of the clothes were special. The trace of metal material was also special. It was something he had never seen before. At this moment, Yan Huang ancestor suddenly said, Don't move. Long Fei's mind trembled and said, What's wrong? The Yan Huang ancestor's idea sunk and stopped for half a minute before saying, This is a set of soul-locked coat. Once it is worn, the soul will be locked. Strange. Why would such a monster appear in here? Long Fei didn't know, but he knew it clearly. These clothes were demon items. Lock down a person's soul. Long Fei was a little confused and asked, Ancestor, what is a soul-locked coat? The Yan Huang ancestor said slightly, It is to lock your soul within, and no matter what happens, your soul will not be able to leave. It's the same even if I kill you, I won't even be able to do anything to ghosts. If even the soul lock coat is taken out, then that means that he wants to kill you today. He wants your soul. What does he want with your soul? Soul lock coat, just lock their soul. Then use their soul to refine something. However, the aura being emitted from Wang Bodong's body was not that of a devil. So why did he want Long Fei's soul? I don't understand. Even the Yin Huang ancestor couldn't understand what he meant. Long Fei slightly said, "You want my soul?" Yin Huang ancestor said, "I still can't think of what he wanted your soul for, but someone who can take out this kind of soul lock coat must not be simple. Soul lock coat can be considered a semi-artifact. It is used to lock the soul." Long Fei said, "Ancestor, if I do not wear this clothes today, they will definitely arouse suspicion. Do you have any ideas?" "Yes, it's just a mere soul-locked coat." Yin Huang ancestor did not take the clothes to heart. He was just curious how this kind of demon could appear here. "Now, do as I say. Change the soul-locked coat." Long Fei nodded. "All right." Half an hour later, the soul-locked coat that was worn on Long Fei's body had to be said to fit perfectly, as if it was completely tailored for him. The Yin Huang ancestor said, "Its spirit-locking structure has already been destroyed. It's nothing more than an ordinary set of clothes." The corner of Long Fei's mouth slightly curled as he muttered, "I'd like to see who wants my soul." Noon. Long Fei looked at Li Yuanba and Arhut and asked, "Have you guys finished equipping them?" Li Yuanba laughed foolishly. "Boss, my twin hammers is unable to endure the thirst." Arhut put his hands together and said slightly, "Amit ba." At this time, Wang Bodong walked into the courtyard. Seeing Long Fei putting on the soul-locked coat as clothes, the smile on his face carried intention as he said, "Good son-in-law, you're just too handsome when wearing the groom's clothes." Long Fei smiled slightly. "You must know I've always been very handsome." Wang Bodong was stunned for a moment and then laughed, but in his heart he mocked, "Idiot, let's see if you can still laugh at night. Soul-locked coat, lock your soul then. You dog, prepare to become a sacrifice today." Wang Bodong did not reveal an expression and said, "Good son-in-law, follow me out to welcome guests. The people who have come today are all great figures of the Tianyin city. You must get to know them well." Long Fei nodded his head and said, "Then what about my brother?" Wang Bodong looked at the foolish Li Yuanba and the dumbstruck Arhut and couldn't help but laugh in his heart. Wang Bodong laughed. "It's not time yet. The two of them should rest in the courtyard for a bit. And when it's time to begin, they should come out together. What do you think?" Long Fei looked at Li Yuanba as the idea sent a sound transmission to him. "The two of you stay here. If anyone dares to touch you, don't give me any face. Kill him." Li Yuanba laughed foolishly. "Boss, today is your wedding day. Go and busy yourself with it. We will play around here for a bit, and when night comes, we will go out for a feast. Ha ha." He had a silly look on his face. Even Wang Bodong wouldn't be able to tell that he was pretending. A fool. He was talking about Li Yuanba. Long Fei nodded his head and said, "Then the two of you better not barge in too recklessly. This is the city lord's mansion. You have to follow the rules." "Got it." Wang Bodong and Long Fei walked out. When they were at the door, Wang Bodong said to a gatekeeper disciple, "Inside are young master's brothers. If you have anything to attend to, if there is any disrespect, I will ask you." Then the disciple immediately said, "This subordinate will obey. This subordinate will definitely serve you well." Long Fei left. He followed Wang Bodong to the city lord's mansion's gate. Not long after he left, Li Yuanba's courtyard was filled with armed elite guards. The leading man took a step forward and felt it was funny seeing Li Yuanba's silly look and laughed. "Go, kill him." Li Yuanba asked foolishly, "Didn't I ask you to serve us properly? Why did you want to kill me?" The man loudly mocked, "That's right, we are serving you. Kill." It was also at this moment. Li Yuanba foolishly walked up. "You want to serve me? Baidu sister-in-law, a half. Floating life, strongest upgrade system suddenly. The furious thunder was summoned, and suddenly there was a riot. The two hammers smashed the man's head into meat paste. Seconds. At the same time, Li Yuanba shouted out, "Kill!" Chapter 18_8419/2356675. Long Fei was not worried about Li Yuanba and the others. Long Fei was not worried about Li Yuanba and the others. Top 2 of the 8 Vajra. The Titan god Bloodvein had innate divine strength. Its strength was unfathomable, and its pair of raging thunder hammers was incredibly cool. Even a War Emperor level 1 expert would not be able to harm it within 1,000 rounds. As for Arhut, the reincarnation of the Holy Buddha, the power to exterminate the devils, and also the power to bedevil those in hell. If he didn't go berserk, he would be like a sickly sapling, but once he goes berserk, the consequences would be unthinkable. Just with those elite guards, Long Fei was not worried at all. However, it was a pity, because those experiences were no longer available to him. Wang Bodong cupped his hands and said, "Welcome, welcome. This is patriarchally." Long Fei said, "Welcome, welcome. This is the president of the Shaman Mercenary Guild. This is..." Wang Bodong continued to explain. Moreover, he had specially ordered people to clear up the gifts. Long Fei was puzzled. This Wang Bodong should be from sect. Aren't sects filled with power, spirit stones for cultivation, and spirit pills to help him with? Why does he love money so much? The sect was just as poor. This was especially true for cultivation resources. He wouldn't even let a single low-grade spirit stone go. How could he miss out on a wedding where he could amass a lot of money? City Lord's mansion, back garden. Sidu Feng stood by the pond and fed the golden carp, his body unknowingly releasing a demonic aura. Looking at the golden carp swimming happily in the water, a cold smile appeared on his face. It's going to be dark in a few hours. My master's time is about to come. Let me obtain the God's Devil Ancient Case. Then my devil arts will mature. At that time, Hong Tianjun, this young master's first wish is to trample you underfoot. Ha ha! The demon note shook. The entire pond began to churn as if boiling water. The body of the carp exploded, turning into a cloud of bloody mist. It was also at this time. A diamond-shaped demonic mark appeared on his forehead. A cold light flashed in his eyes. The demonic chi on his body was extremely strong. Who would have thought that the young sovereign of the South Horizon region's #1 sect, the South Heaven, would actually be a demonic cultivator, defeated by a single sword strike from Hong Tianjun. Under the stimulation, his heart demon entered his body and his Tao heart crumbled. He did not stop them and went straight into the demonic way to cultivate Nantian Sect's forbidden demonic art. At the same time, he discovered the God's Devil Ancient Case's secret on Nantian Sect's forbidden demon art. As long as he obtained the God's Devil Ancient Case, he would be able to surpass Hong Tianjun and wash away the shame from that day's sword strike. Just you wait. I will make you wish you were dead. At this time, a disciple walked forward with a bowed body, and without daring to look at Sidu Feng, he lightly said, "Reporting to young master, Long Fei is already in position." Situ Feng's aura retracted, and he asked coldly, "Have you worn the soul-locked coat?" The disciple replied, "He's wearing it." Situ Feng smiled sinisterly and said, "Very good. Once the soul-locked coat is put on, then he will be the offering. The God's Devil Ancient Case only requires a soul sacrifice to be able to be fully opened. Even Sky Demon did not know that once I obtain the 10,000 Devil Pool, I will be able to cultivate my devil arts to the 9th stage." At that time, wah! A ferocious wild laughter rang out. "Pass down my orders. The flying army is all in place. We cannot let Long Fei escape," Sidu Feng said sinisterly. "Yes, sir." The disciple quickly left. Sidu Feng looked at the pool of blood and said with a slight smile, Long Fei, all of this is life. Who told you to obtain the God's Devil Ancient Case?" "Ha ha, you are tragedy." The reputable people of Tianyun City continued to arrive at the City Lord's mansion. Wang Bodong kept holding on to Long Fei, not giving him any time to leave. Actually, Long Fei also did not think of leaving. He was waiting, and even until nightfall, he did not see Xie appearance. He heaved a sigh of relief and thought to himself, "It's good that you're not here. If she didn't come, then she wouldn't be in any danger." Wang Bodong was a level 3 war emperor. Then the person behind him must be even stronger. It would be better if Xie did not appear. Wang Bodong looked at the sky and said, "It's about time. Let's go in." Suddenly, "Congratulations, congratulations." Outside the city leader's mansion, the Blood Sea sect elder who appeared in Mercenary Guild 3 days ago walked over. Beside him were not only the disciples of the Blood Sea sect, but also the disciples of the Blood Refinement sect, Mountain Sea sect, Evil Sound sect, and Evil Sound sect. The disciples of the 8 demon sects were packed densely into a large crowd and had all arrived. Wang Bodong's brows tightened as his voice sank. He shouted lightly, "Devil Sect's lackey, today is a day of great celebration for my city lord's mansion. You'd best scram to the side." Ouch! A mere Tianyun city lord dares to have such big words. "You're being impolite. Wang Bodong, why don't you take a look?" This time was different from 3 days ago. This time, not only the Blood Sea sect, but there were also the other 7 great demon sections. There were 8 experts of the War Emperor realm and over 1,000 disciples of the Devil sect. Even Wang Bodong found it a bit unbearable. At this moment, a disciple whispered something in a Wang Bodong's ear. Wang Bodong's brows furrowed and smiled. "Since all the elders of the Devil sect have given me face, then I, Wang, will naturally welcome you, please. At least you know your place." The Blood Sea sect elder stared at Long Fei and said a few words to the other clan elder in a low voice. And then, all of the disciples of the demon sect stared at Long Fei coldly. Long Fei secretly tensed up at his heart. Xie, something may have happened. At this moment, he did not care too much and pulled a female disciple from the Evil Sound sect and asked, "Why isn't Xie here?" "Humph, let go of your dirty hands. Senior sister Xie, haven't you harmed enough? If it wasn't for you, senior sister Xie wouldn't have been sent to the confinement realm. It's all because of you. Don't even think about leaving this place alive tonight. Maybe he is colluding with that bitch Xie. The god's devil loot must be in that bitch's hands. I really can't see what's good about that brat that could make her act so despicably." A few Evil Sound sect disciples said angrily. The way they looked at Long Fei was as if they had a deep grudge against him. Long Fei's heart turned sinister. Something has really happened to Xie. Things were unfolding differently from what he had expected, to the point where he was no longer able to control himself. He thought that the people from the 8 demon sects were here to save him, but from the looks of it now, this group of people were here to kill him and rob the god's devil ancient case. The supreme mission of the demons continued. They could not use force. If that was the case, Long Fei's eyes turned sinister as he thought to himself, "Demon is like any other kind of thing. I'll kill whoever dares to obstruct me. Any kind of mission, any kind of reward, it's all bullshit." Xie would definitely be severely punished when he returned to the Evil Sound sect. One could tell from the expressions of these Devil sect disciples. Semi/floating life plus, this touched upon Long Fei's bottom line. So, tonight, it didn't matter if he was a demon or a sect disciple, as long as they dared to provoke him. One word, kill. Chapter 28_8419/2356676. As night fell, the sound of music began to play. As night fell, the sound of music began to play. Everything was normal. It was so normal that it made people a little flustered. The bride walked out from the other side of the yard. She was wearing a red dress and a head covering her head. 2 serving maids were supporting her. Step by step, they walked into the yard. Wang Bodong walked up, smiled, and said something to Wang Shiyun in a low voice. Wang Shiyun's body lightly trembled. Beneath the red veil, her eyes streamed with tears, and no one knew how she had managed to pass these past 3 days. And then, Wang Bodong pulled Wang Shuyun's hand and walked to Long Fei's side as he said smilingly, Long Fei, from today onwards, I will entrust my poetry to you. You must treat her well for the rest of your life. The moment Wang Shuyun held Long Fei's hand, her body trembled once more. Wang Bodong coughed lightly, and the trembling immediately stopped. Wang Bodong walked into the hall and sat down, then said to a host, Let the wedding begin. The music was even more cheerful. Long Fei slowly walked into the hall while holding Wang Shuyun's hand and said in a low voice, The father in front of you might be someone else. Wang Shuyun did not speak. Long Fei continued, Guild leader, we may have fallen into a huge trap. Wang Shuyun still did not speak. Long Fei continued, Actually, you can refuse. I have yet to take revenge, and I have no mood to think about other things. Wang Shuyun still did not make a sound. Huff! Long Fei exhaled lightly and said faintly, If something happens next, you don't have to worry about me. Li Yuanba and Arhut will meet you outside the courtyard. You must escape. Suddenly, Wang Shuyun stopped. She tightly held onto Long Fei's hand, and at the same time, she removed the hood and shouted, Long Fei, run. As soon as he finished, she desperately blocked in front of Long Fei and pushed him out of the hall. His right hand moved. He pulled out a long sword from the red clouds and transformed into a red shadow, thrusting towards Wang Bodong, who was seated, and said with a mournful voice, Return my father's life. Chua, an all-out attack. Seated on his seat, Wang Bodong's expression turned sinister. Clenching his fists tightly, he coldly snorted in contempt and said, You're overestimating yourself. Boom! He sat on the seat without moving at all. An array of War Emperor aura burst out from his body, forming a force that deflected Wang Shuyun's sword. In the air, Wang Shuyun did not even take half a step forward, his sword continuing to bend. The corner of Wang Bodong's mouth curled up as he smiled sinisterly. Get on the ground. Boom! Another wave of War Emperor rose into the sky and transformed into an arc as it heavily smashed onto Wang Shuyun's back. Bam! Her face was as pale as thin paper, and she spat out a mouthful of black blood. She said with a faint trace of life in her voice, You are not my father, and you are not Wang Bodong. Who exactly are you? Her cultivation was only at the War Chief realm. How could she withstand the pressure of the War Emperor? Her speed was as fast as lightning, and she did not even have a chance to react. Wang Bodong stood up gently, walked to Wang Shuyun's side, and squatted down as he gave a cold laugh, saying, I am indeed not your father. Your father is as disobedient as you, so even if he died, you wouldn't listen to him either, so you have to die too. Long Fei once again walked into the hall, his eyebrows turned sinister, and he said coldly, If you dare touch him again, I'll definitely kill you with your corpse intact. He didn't think that Wang Shuyun would push him out. Wang Bodong stared at Long Fei, his mouth curling into a smile, and said, I didn't expect you to be so infatuated. A beautiful woman is what everyone likes, but to protect a beautiful woman, let's see if you have the ability to do so. As soon as he finished, the aura on Wang Bodong's body exploded as he grabbed Wang Shuyun's head and lifted her up into the air. With a savage expression, he stared at Long Fei and asked, You an idiot trash? You still don't know when you're about to die. At this moment, Wang Bodong moved his right palm and struck at Wang Shuyun's chest. At the moment of lightning flash, Long Fei disappeared and roared in his heart, Three-rate peerless technique. Boom! The three-rate peerless technique burst out. Releasing the 8 times the elemental energy, his body blurred as he appeared in front of Wang Bodong. Who is the one that you don't know right now? His fists moved. He released all 8 times his elemental energy. Mountain hit fist. Boom, boom. The strength of the large power King Kong ape exploded 8 times, not giving Wang Bodong any chance to react before heavily smashing onto his chest. Rumble. Wang Bodong's eyes turned sinister. He took a punch from Long Fei and his chest split open, his entire person exploding as he retreated and sat on the high chair. The chair shattered into pieces. He crashed into the wall, and the blood in his chest began to boil. He couldn't hold on any longer and spat out a mouthful of blood. "You dog, you're hiding your strength? How could the level 2 war elder possess such a powerful strength? Impossible." Moreover, in that instant, Long Fei's strength multiplied by multiple times, and his damage output increased by even more than a ton. After blowing Wang Bodong away with a punch, Long Fei didn't even spare him a glance as he picked him up and said faintly, "I'm sorry, I've implicated you." And then, he carried Wang Shiyun and walked to the entrance of the hall. Looking around, he looked at the guests in the courtyard and said furiously, "I will only say it once. Those who block me will die." His tone was extremely arrogant. Arrogant. Too arrogant. Overbearing to the point of being a complete mess. Especially that line, "Those who block me will die." It caused everyone in the courtyard to be stunned. He did not care what kind of sect Elder Wang Bodong was, nor did he care what kind of experts he had behind him, nor did he care about the devil sect experts in the courtyard. He only knew that he was enraged. Kill whoever blocks him. Everything happened too quickly, and the guests in the courtyard were unable to react in time. Killing his father again. He had killed his daughter again, but in the end, he had killed his father-in-law. What was going on? Wang Bodong crawled up from the ground. The aura of the War Emperor on his body frantically soared as he said solemnly, "The one who died is you." His fist shook. The two illusions of prehistoric beasts superimposed onto each other on top of the fist. God's beast fist. Both fists exploded. The two prehistoric beasts roared. Long Fei lightly leaned Wang Shiyun on the doorstep and said gently, "Wait for me." Then, the three-rate peerless technique continued. Long Fei made a grasping motion with his right hand, and the dragon salure was pulled out. The idea moved and directly connected to the world of the dragon salure. Dark dragon god. "Kill him for me." Long Fei's figure turned. With a gloomy look in his eyes, the dragon salure slashed down. Roar! The dragon god became angry and destroyed the four directions. Shwa! A dragon spirit shadow rushed out and directly devoured the two prehistoric beasts. Its eightfold of attributed strength was infused into the powerful blade Qi, and it slashed again. He directly swept Wang Bodong up, the blade aura wreaking havoc. Carrot, half, /float asterisk life, crazy slaughter. The amount of blood on the top of his head instantly reached the bottom. Seconds. Long Fei's gaze turned, swept across the entire audience, and arrogantly asked, "Who else?" Chapter 38_8419/2356677. Who else? Who else? F***CK. I'm just asking, who else is there? Long Fei was furious. He knew he was being held 3 days ago. Today, he knew that Xie was being punished, and he was not feeling well. When he saw Wang Shiyun being heavily injured, he did not feel well. Seeing Wang Bodong's complacent expression, he was still not happy. Unhappy. Just one word, fuck. Therefore, he didn't even give Wang Bodong the chance to retaliate. He just directly activated the three-rate rampage, unleashing 8 times the power of his attribute, and killed Wang Bodong in an instant. The level 3 War Emperor. Seconds. The surrounding people were all dumbfounded. Looking at Wang Bodong's stiff body in the hall, none of them revealed any fear. They were all thinking, is this kid even human? At the same time, harassment occurred in the courtyard, causing the rich and famous people of Tianyun City to almost pee themselves from fright. They rushed to the exit frantically and started shouting, "None of my business. I want to go home. Mom, I want to go home. Isn't it marriage? Why did it become a killing spree? What's the situation?" There was a commotion in the yard, but there were a lot of people who did not fall into disorder. The guests that had rushed out of the courtyard all let out miserable cries at that moment. The entire courtyard was surrounded. Those who rushed out were all killed in an instant. Pa pa pa, pa pa pa. A crisp round of applause rang out. Beautiful, beautiful, truly beautiful. The cultivation of the War Elder realm can instantly kill any expert of the level 3 War Emperor. I have to say, you're the first one who did it. A young man walked into the courtyard. The expression of the great elder of the Blood Sea sect froze. Young Master Nantion, Sidu Feng. The faces of everyone from the 8 demon sects changed. The young master of the South Horizon region was famous. He had once gone into the demon sect by himself and killed for 3 days and 3 nights in a row. In those 3 days and 3 nights, he had also killed more than 1,000 of the elite demonic sections. It was also that time. The 8 demon sects' profound chi were wounded, which made it difficult for them to accept it. Not a single one of them was an outstanding disciple. Sidu Feng didn't even spare a glance at the members of the 8 great demon sect. Instead, he stared coldly at Long Fei and said, "Perhaps I will give you a little more time. What a pity, you don't have time." As soon as he finished, buzz, Situ Feng's aura changed. All of the chi around his body turned into demonic chi, and in that instant, all of the people in the courtyard were being crushed, including Long Fei himself. Bam! A palm struck Long Fei's body. Like a kite with its string cut, Long Fei's body fell and sat in the courtyard. In the main hall, sat down, and looked coldly at Long Fei, who was in the courtyard. The corners of his mouth slightly curled up, and he smiled slightly. "I'm so weak. It's a complete mess." One move sent Long Fei flying. His cultivation, terrifying to the extreme. At the same time, on the rooftop and outside the courtyard, there were flying legions. Nantion sect's bird army had all come out. The disciples of the 8 demon sects were slightly moved. The great clan elder of the Blood Sea sect shouted, "Don't mess around." Situ Feng sat on a chair, and a diamond-shaped devil imprint appeared between his eyebrows. It flew out, and his eyes became extremely gloomy as the devil energy around his body became extremely dense. It was even stronger than the combined forces of the 8 great demon sections. Situ Feng laughed coldly. "Trash, hand over the God's Devil ancient case." Long Fei slowly stood up and smiled. "It truly is a God's Devil ancient case." It was also at this time. The people from the 8 great demon sects stepped forward at the same time and shouted, "Situ Feng, the God's Devil ancient case is a treasure left to us by the God's Devil ancestor. You do not have the qualifications to inherit it." Qualification? Ha ha! Situ Feng laughed sinisterly. "I'll let you know what qualifications are." As soon as he finished, the demonic shadow moved, and the elder who spoke had his head cut off by a strand of energy. Situ Feng held it in his hand, and then threw it back onto the chair, and said coldly, "Is that enough for you? Crazy. Too arrogant." Situ Feng's power was just too strong. War Emperor level 1. There wasn't even room for a reaction. None of the experts from the 8 demon sects reacted. It was too fast, too strong. This was also the reason why the 8 demonic sects have been suppressed by the sect for so many years. Situ Feng, don't be too arrogant. The few elders were infuriated. Situ Feng laughed disdainfully. "Savage? TSK, I completely do not put you 8 great demon sects in my eyes. You're just a bunch of ants. A bunch of old ants." He didn't pay any attention to her at all. Situ Feng looked at the members of the 8 great demon sects and coldly laughed. "Today, I will give you all a chance to live. Kneel on the ground and shout, 'Submit to me,' and I will become your demon lord." Don't even think about it. Who do you think you are? Do you think that people who cultivate devil arts are from the demon race? Situ Feng, you're too arrogant. At this moment, the 8 demon sects were complete tragedy. Situ Feng sneered. "This is your only chance, not cherishing it. All right then, wait until I obtain the God's Devil ancient case. Then I will kill each of you one by one. This way, those people who are still alive will cherish this opportunity." And then Situ Feng's eyes turned as he stared at Long Fei and said, "You dog, hand over the God's Devil ancient case." Long Fei clenched his fists tightly. Unparalleled skill cooldown ended. Boom. 3-rate peerless technique. Crack. The power within Long Fei's body exploded forth, releasing another 8 times the attribute power. Clenching both of his fists tightly, he shouted, "You want the god's devil ancient case? Come and take it." Teleport. Swish. Long Fei's figure moved, 8 times the speed of teleportation, one step attacking towards Situ Feng. The dragon's salure slashed down. Bam! The chair splintered, but Situ Feng's figure disappeared. Too slow. Bam! Situ Feng's voice sounded from Long Fei's back. Long Fei was shocked and did not wait for him to react. He felt pain in his back. His entire body was once again sent flying. Situ Feng floated in midair and said with a sneer, "Trash is trash, unable to withstand a single blow. I heard you want to kill Hong Tianjun. A trash like you wants to kill Hong Tianjun. How ridiculous. Do you know who Hong Tianjun is? The #1 genius of the South Horizon region. Do you know who he defeated? Me. Do you know how he beat me? One move. In the entire South Horizon region, only I am his opponent. His life is mine. Do you understand? A piece of trash like you? That's not insulting him, it's insulting me." As soon as he finished, Situ Feng exploded out continuously, striking out again and again. Sister-in-law, 1 / plus health, strongest upgrade system, 8 times the attributes, 8 times the strength. However, it also dealt 8 times the same amount of damage. Long Fei was not a match at all. Chapter 48_8419/2356678. Level 3 War Emperor Long Fei could instantly kill it. Level 3 War Emperor Long Fei could instantly kill it. However, what was Situ Feng's cultivation level? He had no idea. Hearing what Situ Feng had said, Long Fei's heart became even heavier. Hong Tianjun defeated Situ Feng in one move. How strong was Hong Tianjun? Did he use 1% of his power last time at the Fireglass City? Long Fei had thought that his months of cultivation was at least a big step closer to Hong Tianjun's, but now that he thought about it, these few months of hard work were like a joke. Unhappy, he felt extremely displeased. How could they continue to head to the Heaven Sect for more than 2 years? If he couldn't even beat Situ Feng, how could he be a match for Hong Tianjun? Anger raged in Long Fei's heart as he crawled up from the ground once again. Looking at Situ Feng, who was in midair, he said, "You were defeated by Hong Tianjun in one move, right? Hong Tianjun can do it. Long Fei can do the same." Boom! Long Fei's body exploded once more as the idea sunk into his body and roared, "Bedevilment!" Buzz! His body turned into a bloody mess as the devilish aura was released from his body in an unbridled manner. The faces of the people from the 8 demon sects changed drastically. Why is he a demon too? Moreover, he did not cultivate demonic arts to become demons, but rather the kind of demons that he was born with. Have you guys noticed that his appearance is exactly the same as the one depicted on the portrait of the god's devil ancestor? Impossible. He definitely can't be the reincarnation of a sky demon. If he was the reincarnation of a sky demon, how could he be stomped like this by a mere Situ Feng? This is too embarrassing for the demons. The disciples of the devil sect began whispering to each other. Situ Feng also smiled slightly and said, "Very good, very good, very good. I've finally become bewitched." "That's enough." Situ Feng took a look at the sky and said indifferently, "It's about time." And then Situ Feng's brows moved and directly controlled the soul-locked coat on Long Fei's body. He sneered, "Hand over your soul, and let the god's devil ancient case truly activate." The aura on Situ Feng's body exploded. Boom! A ray of idea energy was affecting the soul-locked coat on Long Fei's body. At this moment, Long Fei roared out, 3-rate peerless technique, activate. Boom! 8 times the usual stats. With his right hand slaying a dragon and his left hand holding a god's devil blade, his mouth full of autumn water, his body sinking, he roared in a demonic voice, "Demon! 3-blade stream. Ghost slash." The moment Situ Feng connected with the soul-locked coat, his body sank. His face suddenly turned pale, because The soul lock code had been tampered with by Long Fei. Whoever touched the soul lock code strength would suffer a backlash. Even in Situ Feng's dreams, he would not think of this. Chua. Long Fei's body moved. The devil slashed down. Chua, chua, chua. Greater than sign, nearly 10 million damage floated above Situ Feng's head, and at the same time, his bloody groove appeared. 30 million HP. Its health was terrifyingly high. However, the more powerful the blood, the more excited Long Fei became, because this meant that the higher level the boss was, the sharper the items that dropped. Puff, puff. Situ Feng spat out several mouthfuls of blood. His face was incomparably pale, and his eyes were bloodshot. He shouted out with a deep voice, "Impossible! This is impossible! Soul Lock Coat definitely won't make a mistake. Take advantage of his illness, and take his life." Long Fei knew this better than anyone. Thus, Long Fei did not explain anything and grabbed on his Situ Feng. Demon Chi soared to the sky, crushed him, and punched him again and again. Mocking me? You say I'm trash? Who's the trash now? Boom, boom, boom. Punch after punch exploded. Fist of flesh. Did not even have time to defend. He was still thinking, why would the soul lock coat make a mistake? Why? Why? Arrogant. Continue being arrogant. The anger in Long Fei's heart flared up unceasingly, and he was not given any chance to breathe. Fighting is like this. He couldn't bear it. If the attack landed, the moment it hit, the opponent would not even have a chance to breathe and would be directly crippled. Long Fei punched out with all his might. Every strike was a critical hit. It was as if he was a madman. I am not worthy to be Hong Tianjuan's opponent. You piece of trash. How arrogant you are. Bam. The people from the 8 demon sects were all dumbfounded. Is this person crazy? Is there such a fight? Riding on someone else and attacking them? Who would be fighting them like this? I can say for sure, he is definitely not the reincarnation of the Sky Demon. God's devil ancestor would definitely not fight like this. It's too ugly. The people from the 8 demon sects were all shocked. Long Fei was not one to fight. He was playing with his life. He was completely a madman. Furthermore, he was a madman that didn't care about his own life. However, none of the surrounding Flying Legion members stepped forward to help. Instead, they looked pleased with themselves and smiled contemptuously. There were even some who spoke out directly. He's going to die soon. Huh? He's going to die soon. What an idiot. The more Long Fei smashed down, the more successful his heart became, because with every punch he smashed apart one piece of Situ Feng's clothes, and it was as if fragments of his body were falling down. A powerful force was also moving inside Situ Feng's body. Ahaha, ahaha. Although Situ Feng had pressed him to the ground, he was still laughing wildly, as if he hadn't felt any pain. The smile on his face was extremely sinister. His face began to twist. The power in his body exploded uncontrollably. Then, rumble, Situ Feng's body suddenly exploded, and a burst of extremely powerful energy blasted Long Fei flying. He stood up slowly. Half of his body transformed. It had transformed into the limbs of a monster, with eyes like snakes. Half of its body was covered in blood-red scales, and each scale contained boundless power. Half man, half beast. Moreover, Situ Feng even had a tail like a mace. Long Fei was completely stunned. Damn, could it be the tail beast? I can't help but think of the fire shadow from my previous life, where I, Luo, was also attacked and attacked by others. It transformed into the body of a tail beast. Wasn't Situ Feng cultivating a demonic art? How could he become a magical beast? The entire devil sect was scared stiff. Yin Huang ancestor also quickly reminded Long Fei. Long Fei, be careful. This monster is not a demon beast, nor is it a divine beast. It is a type of parasitic beast. Very powerful. If you can, you'd better get out. You're not the opponent. Baidu search. Half afloat. I'm seriously telling you, run. Only by staying alive can you change everything. Without your life, you have nothing left. The power that even the Yin Huang ancestor was worried about. Chapter 5. Table of contents, Ada_8419/2356679. Half human, half beast. Half human, half beast. It was a parasitic beast. Wasn't this the same situation as the tailed beast in the fiery figure? Moreover, the power that even the Yin Huang ancestor was worried about. Then how strong was this tailed beast? Flee? No. Long Fei swore that this would be the only time he would be able to escape from Hong Tianjun. No matter how strong the opponent was, he would still die trying. Ever since he came to this world, ever since he had what he wanted to protect, his path had been one where there was no path of retreat. Since there was no way out, then let's do it. Ahaha. Ahaha. You are indeed not bad, to actually be able to unleash the terrifying power within my body. However, then we can only stop here, Situ Feng said sinisterly. The aura emitted from his body was very special. His obsession was different from everyone else's. He had become bewitched in Nantian Sect's forbidden ground. He had unraveled the devil from a certain seal within Nantian Sect's forbidden ground, and he had become bewitched with an ancient beast. By nourishing the body, he would use his own blood essence to nurture it. The stronger the ancient beast became, the stronger his power would be. In order to defeat Hong Tianjun, he would grow stronger without a care, even if it was an ancient beast that entered his body. Situ Feng laughed sinisterly. Originally, I wanted to leave this ferocious beast with Hong Tianjun. Since you beat him up, then hand over your soul. Buzz. Whoosh. The celestial domain vanished too quickly, too fast. Bam. He landed in front of Long Fei, revealing a sinister expression, and grabbed onto the parasitic beast's claw. Rumble. The punch tore through space, and there were traces of blood-red energy lines on the punch, as if this power came from another world. Unstoppable. Bam! Long Fei's body sank and immediately spat out a mouthful of blood flying out. Boom! Smashing the walls of the courtyard into ruins. Within the ruins, Long Fei clenched his teeth, his right hand slapped down. Damn, this daddy doesn't believe it. Boom! With the ruins exploding, Long Fei held onto the dragon salure with both of his hands, unleashing his sky demon power completely. Blood dragon angry slash. Roar. A blood dragon image rushed out from the dragon salure, rushed into the sky, and then swooped down, directly pouncing towards Situ Feng, who was half human and half beast. Situ Feng slightly raised his eyes and revealed a disdainful sneer at the corner of his mouth. Is it only this kind of power? Weak, it's exploding. As soon as he finished, half of Situ Feng's beast body let out a strange cry towards the sky. Awoo! The impact of the sonic wave was accompanied by a visible force that exploded out one after another. The blood dragon was blocked, and the scales on its body fell off one by one due to the sonic boom. In just a few seconds, it had turned into a skeleton. The bone dragon was still desperately pressing down. However, the strength of that vicious beast was simply too strong. Plus, a vicious beast was a solid entity. The blood dragon was only an illusory image. In essence, the two were far apart. Boom! The bone dragon exploded and was blasted away. It was also at this time, Long Fei hacked down with the dragon salure. Situ Feng's right hand moved and caught the dragon salure between two fingers. Looking at Long Fei, who was in the air, he laughed complacently and said word by word, "I say you weak," exploded. Bam! The tailed beast swung its tail. Bam! The mace-like tail swept across Long Fei's waist, once again sending him flying. Too strong, unparalleled power, strength, realm, and speed were all on a completely different level. The faces of the Devil Sect disciples all turned pale. Even they had not imagined that there would be such a demon, an ancient devil. Furthermore, he had never imagined that such a lunatic would use his own body to nurture a fiendish demon. Ha! Situ Feng laughed out wildly and said arrogantly, "Long Fei, are you feeling good? A person like you is worthy of being Hong Tianjun's opponent? You and him are like heaven and earth. Only I am fit to be Hong Tianjuan's opponent. Only I can kill him. And you, too weak, one after another. It was as if energy had struck Long Fei's mind and was extremely uncomfortable. If you can't even cross this threshold, then how do we F***K, the heavenly sect, and defeat Hong Tianjun? Do I have to make Lu Luoxi kneel in front of Hong Tianjun for me again on that day? Long Fei was furious. He roared in his heart, three-rate peerless technique. Boom! Ghost slash. Shwa. His body disappeared like a wisp of smoke. Situ Feng frowned slightly. His entire body was enveloped by the blade aura that Long Fei had released. The corners of his eyes turned grim. Without waiting for Long Fei's 3 slashes to land, his tail beast's footsteps shook. Get down. Rumble. Rumble. The entire yard shook violently. Long Fei's techniques had been disintegrated. The strong vibration caused him to lose his balance, and his moves were interrupted. It was also at this moment that Situ Feng laughed complacently and said, "Get down." The huge tail swung out. Boom! It heavily struck Long Fei's back, blasting him down to the ground and causing him to violently spurt out blood. His face was incomparably pale. Not an opponent, and not an opponent at that. He desperately tried to work hard. However, he was still not his opponent. He had released everything he could, but was still not his opponent. Level. Every increase in the level of the War Emperor realm was a huge gap, and the difference in strength was like heaven and earth. It was as though Situ Feng had defeated his War Emperor realm in one move. Situ Feng took a step forward, looked at Long Fei, who was lying in the deep pit, and laughed complacently. Did you enjoy it? Ha! That kind of complacency was extremely unpleasant. Long Fei, I don't want to play with you anymore, and there's no need for that because you're too weak, unable to withstand a single blow. Now, hand over your soul and become a sacrifice for the god's devil ancient case. A stream of power appeared in Situ Feng's beast claw. Yin Huang ancestor immediately said, "The power of soul harvest, brat. Stand up, hurry up." At the same time, a surge of power from the Yin Huang ancestor protected Long Fei's mind, but he knew clearly in his heart that his current strength simply could not protect Long Fei's mind and sea of consciousness. Because the power of harvesting souls, it was also his nemesis. He was just a remnant soul. What he feared the most was the power of soul harvest. Even if they did, he would still desperately try to protect Long Fei. At this moment, Baidu's sister-in-law, AA Half, floating life, strongest upgrade system, the door burst into noise. Arhut's King Kong exorcism wand pierced through the air. The bloody runes above his head flickered with the power of hell and pounced towards Situ Feng. Fall into hell. Li Yuanba carried his Shun sarcophagus and flew into the sky. His entire body was dyed in blood. His twin hammers moved, filling his entire body with lightning. "I'll kill you." Situ Feng glanced at them. 2 more came to die. Chapter 18_8419/2356680. Li Yuanba and Arhut had arrived. Watching Long Fei being blasted to the ground, their faces pale and on the verge of death, the rage in their hearts reached its peak in an instant. Anger soared. Situ Feng also laughed disdainfully, looking at Li Yuanba. "What kind of boss? What kind of idiot trash are you? If I were you, I would have left long ago. You all, brainless trash." As soon as he finished, bang bang. Under the power of the 2 people, Situ Feng's beast tail also flew down. Arhut was knocked flying. Li Yuanba was flung out. However, in that instant, their bodies shot out once again. All the veins on Li Yuanba's body stood bulging. His face was flushed red with anger. Lines of the marks of strength stripes appeared around his body. Crack! The sky darkened. A streak of lightning carrying a blood-red light was linked to the twin hammer of raging thunder. Li Yuanba's body was also covered in lightning, but he did not feel any pain. On the contrary, his strength increased by tons and tons. He was absorbing the power from the lightning, converting it into pure physical power within his body. Facing towards Situ Feng's head, the twin hammers smashed down. "Those who touch my boss will die." Rumble! The lightning exploded, causing Situ Feng's eyes to darken. Everyone in the courtyard was moved. What kind of physical strength was this? Terrifying. Could a human's strength reach such a level? Even the power of thunder could be absorbed? What kind of body was this? What kind of power does he have from a blood vein? Situ Feng's heart was also chilled. He was shocked by the power Li Yuanba had released, but shock and fear were two completely different concepts. So what if your strength is great? Still, get on the ground. Crack! Half of Situ Feng's beast body flashed with a burst of light as it charged forward. The moment it came into contact with the power of lightning and anger, his body slightly sank. The huge tail on the mace swung out. The Arhut King Kong lowered its wand and shook crazily as it roared angrily in its heart. "Don't you like killing demons? Don't you like killing? Kill them now." Boom! Demon subduing power exploded, directly blocking Situ Feng's wolf-fanged, mace's huge tail. The King Kong ring on the wand of descent continued to emit sounds of collision. Arhut roared again. "Second brother, hammer him to death. I want to beat him to death." Li Yuanba raised his hammer up and down again, and then smashed down again. Bam! And then another hammer strike. Bam! Just like forging a metal, each hammer strike landed on the opponent's body. Situ Feng's body was being pressed down bit by bit. "You want my lord to kneel? The one kneeling is you." The two King Kong, Holy King Kong S of the divine spirit blood vein, the reincarnation of the holy Buddha, the demon subduing Vajra. Although they did not use all of their power, the power they were displaying now was comparable to any War Emperor Realm Ranker's power. Terrifying, Situ Feng's expression became more and more unsightly, and his other change of expression also distorted. However, at this moment, the demonic chi on Situ Feng's body retracted and suddenly changed, half of the tail beast exploding out with another burst of force. "Break for me!" Boom! The power was like an awl, directly piercing through Li Yuanba's lightning anger. Then, he retracted his body, then explosively retreated. Then, like a lightning bolt, he shot out. With a grab, a punch, he blasted out at the same time. Bang, 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 bang. "You make me very unhappy. All of you die." The lightning fist of the fist carried waves of critical strikes, continuously smashing onto Li Yuanba's chest and the Arhut's body. The two of them could not resist and were constantly blasted away. Puffed. Blood spurted out of their mouths, but they did not retreat a single step. Even if they were blasted, neither of them had the slightest hint of fear. Li Yuanba was still furious. Suddenly, the atmosphere in the yard had changed. Long Fei, who was in the deep pit, had disappeared. It was also at this moment. Both of Situ Feng's fists struck explosively towards Li Yuanba and Arhut, causing them to be thrown onto the ground at the same time. His face was ferocious as he angrily shouted, "Just you two trash die." Both fists were directed at the heads of the two men. Multiple shadows. "Open for me." Whoosh, 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 whoosh. 4. Standing on Situ Feng's four sides. They were all the same, all Long Fei's god's devil body, not the real body. It was the god's devil body. The shadow clone was not Long Fei himself, but the devil body. Suddenly, time seemed to have been banned. All the voices in the courtyard had disappeared. Why are there 4 Long Fei's? Why are there 4 identical people? Even the aura is exactly the same. It doesn't look like a fake body at all. What kind of cultivation technique is this? He was stunned. He was completely stupefied. Even Situ Feng was the same. His face was filled with astonishment, and after sweeping his gaze around, he said softly, "For bodies, each one is the same as the real body." Interesting, interesting, very interesting. Situ Feng smiled, stared at Long Fei, and said, "Don't tell me this is the god's devil ancient case's cultivation technique." As soon as his voice faded, the expressions of the disciples of the devil sect all changed. There was actually such a powerful cultivation technique hidden in the God's Devil ancient case. Almost everyone's heart was filled with greed. What cultivation does Long Fei have? Level 2 War Elder. However, his power was actually enough to kill a level 3 War Emperor ranker, since he could fight with the young master of the Southern Sky Continent until now. Why? Right now, this had to be because of the God's Devil ancient case. The God's Devil ancient case was a treasure left behind by the God's Devil ancestor, a treasure that belonged to their 8 great demon sects. Some of the elders' faces darkened. The four-bodied Long Fei opened his mouth and laughed coldly at the same time. Guess. The muscles at the corner of Situ Feng's eyes twitched. Anger flared up between his brows, and he roared, "I don't care what kind of cultivation technique you use." Is that so? Long Fei's body sank. Yuanba. Li Yuanba grinned and laughed simple-mindedly and said, "Understood." Boom. The sarcophagus on his back shook. Long Fei made a grasping motion with his right hand. The sarcophagus trembled violently as its sword intent soared to the sky. A handful of Xian Ming's sword broke through the skies and instantly landed in Long Fei's hands. An ice sword. A long sword forged from 10,000-year-old ice. One divided into 4. They all landed on the 4 clones. 3-rate peerless technique. Long Fei's eyes darkened and laughed coldly. "Those who touch my brother die." Chua. Holy Sword 81 moves. Shocking Sword Spirit. Boom. The 4 shot out at the same time. The 4 Shocking Sword Spirits were like Demon's Sword of Justice as they superimposed onto each other and smashed on his Situ Feng's head. Critical hit. The second sword strike came out. Strongest upgrade system. The 3rd slash, the 4th slash, the 5th slash. All 4 swords fell down at the same time. Situ Feng, are you feeling good now? Chapter 2 in the morning. He had to go out to pay respects to the new year. There were 3 more chapters that would arrive before 8 p.m. today. 8_8419/2356681. Situ Feng, do you feel good now? Situ Feng, do you feel good now? Long Fei's 4 voices sounded out at the same time. The Holy Sword 81 moves had dropped 38 strikes. For one person, it was 38 strikes. For people, it was 152 strikes. Each strike was a critical strike, adding the 3-rate peerless technique, 8 times the original stats. This feeling was invincible. Situ Feng was smashed to the ground and could not get up. There was still some blood left on his head, and that half of the fierce beast's face was in extreme pain. At the same time, it was also filled with anger. Right now, with just a simple move, he could kill Situ Feng. Looking at the glittering boss, Long Fei laughed coldly. "Feels good? Didn't you just ask me if I was feeling good? Are you feeling good now?" The attacks from sword and sword caused the entire Tianyun city to be in turmoil, their power boundless. The boundless sword intent covered the entire city, Lord's Mansion. Situ Feng's eyes slanted and stared at Long Fei. "You angered me. You only have one outcome. Die." It was incomparably gloomy, and its expression was ferocious like that of a fiend. Arhat suddenly said, "Boss, be careful." Before he could finish his words, Situ Feng's tail suddenly changed and directly became a few meters long, sweeping outwards. Bam! A clone disappeared. Bam! Another clone turned into white smoke and disappeared. Bam! The 3rd clone also vanished into a cloud of white smoke. Of the 4 figures, only one was left. His multiple shadows was the same as the one in the fire shadow. As long as it got hit, it would disappear. This was the multiple shadows. Long Fei wanted to transform his clone into a corporeal body. However, no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't do it. Moreover, multiple shadows was the same as Nine Knives Force. It was not a 100% success rate. Otherwise, Long Fei would have used it long ago. Ahaha, since there's only one more, then you're the real one, right? Situ Feng laughed sinisterly and waved his huge tail. The illusionary lightning-fast mirage trapped Long Fei's entire body. Long Fei felt a chill in his heart. I still can't do it. I can only use my own techniques with the multiple shadows. I have to work even harder with my own strength. My goal is the spiral pill. And its ultimate spiral pill. The ice sword was placed in front of his chest. Boom! Long Fei was struck, his body exploded and retreated, landing in mid-air. A fiendish look appeared on his forehead. He roared out in his heart, multiple shadows. Ding! Skill failed. He had failed. Long Fei's comprehension was still not good enough. She shouted again, multiple shadows. Ding! Skill failed. Still failed. If the Holy Sword 81 moves is not enough, then I will create 4 clones and 36 blade attacks. I do not believe that I will not be able to kill him. Long Fei once again fully comprehended it. What a pity. Still failed. At this time, Sidu Feng did not continue to attack Long Fei. Instead, he slowly stood up and said gloomily, "Are you asking if I feel good? Now I'll tell you. I'm very unhappy." Ah! Rumble! The bodies of the other half of Situ Feng exploded into a scarlet shockwave, and the other half of his body fell down like dried mud. The other half of his body was also undergoing crazy changes. Within a few seconds, the entire body of the parasitic beast was revealed. It was an ancient beast more than 4 meters tall, its entire body covered with barbed thorns. Its tens of meters long tail was constantly swaying. The breath he gave off made everyone in the yard breathless. Some of the disciples of the devil sect were crushed until they bled from their 7 orifices and their bodies exploded. He wouldn't be able to withstand the crushing pressure. Nantion sect's Avian Legion also had a face full of shock. Even they had never seen Situ Feng's complete evolution, much less him being forced to such a state. Even when he was facing Hong Tianjun back then, he did not act this way. He had been forced into a rage. Just what is this? I've never seen anything like it. What is it? Ancient fiend. The aura on his body is too ruthless, and the aura is too evil. How did Sidu Feng endure the parasitism of this evil demon? That kid is in danger. The danger is even better. The God's Devil ancient case does not belong to him in the first place. It belongs to our 8 great demon sections. The danger is even greater. The God's Devil ancient case does not belong to him in the first place. It belongs to our 8 great demon sections. Even in the face of an ancient vicious demon. Facing Long Fei, who had such a powerful, mysterious cultivation method, all of them were still thinking about the God's Devil ancient case in their hearts, because they firmly believed that the God's Devil ancient case was a peerless treasure. Whoever obtained, it would be able to soar into the sky, become the supreme demon king, and become an unparalleled powerhouse. Humanity is greedy. In the face of an exceptional soul treasure, who could control it? The elders of the 8 demon sects looked at each other. Their eyes were filled with greed. Situ Feng's ferocious beast had been completely transformed. Its 2 snake eyes stared straight at Long Fei, who was in midair, and laughed sinisterly. "I am not happy, so you have to die." Whoosh! His tail whipped. Shwa! Without giving Long Fei time to react, he was immediately tied up. Bam! Long Fei smashed into a building, and the building exploded. Long Fei flew out from the rubble with his body tightly tied up. Boom! Another boom. Situ Feng roared madly. "Who do you think you are? Now, do you feel good about asking?" Bam! Another boom. The ancient vicious beasts were too strong. Half of their bodies hadn't even evolved 10% of their strength yet. Now that they had all evolved that strength, what level of strength did the War Emperor possess? Level 5? Level 6? Level 7? Level 8? Long Fei roared in his heart. 3-rate peerless technique. Ding! Skill activation failed. He had been crushed. Long Fei's body was constantly being tightened. The 152 strikes of the multiple shadows was already his limit. True Chi was exhausted. His spiritual force was exhausted. Now he was extremely weak. Ding! Red alert. Player's health point is too low. Please add. Red alert. Player's health point is too low. Please add. Red alert. Player's health point is too low. Please add. The system glowed red. Long Fei could not take it anymore. As primordial vicious beast had gone berserk, and it was not something he could handle right now. Moreover, Long Fei was only a level 2 war elder, who in the entire South Horizon region could actually force Situ Feng to such an extent. Boss! Boss! Li Yuanba and Arhut fell into a pool of blood and shouted. Wang Shuyun's expression was honest, and she was also shouting, "Let him go, let him go." Baidu's sister-in-law, A half. Floating life, strongest upgrade system, none of the people from the 8 demon sects helped. In their eyes, there was only God's devil ancient case. City Lord's mansion in a certain darkness. Old Ghost, it's our turn to fight. Chapter 38_8419/2356682. Long Fei's limit had been reached. Long Fei's limit had been reached. If it was just Situ Feng's own strength alone, Long Fei would completely oppress him. With the appearance of the parasitic berserk beast, Long Fei could still suppress half of the man and half of the beast, but the parasitic berserk beast's complete explosion was a power that Long Fei could no longer withstand. Long Fei had already exceeded their expectations. It was big. They wanted Long Fei to soar into the sky, but they knew that it was unrealistic. Demon Sovereign, step by step. In today's battle, Long Fei had already proven himself, and his name would soon shake the entire South Horizon region. This was the effect they wanted. Moreover, this was only the beginning. Wild Ghost grinned and laughed gently, saying, "It's been a long time since I've seen such a hot-blooded person, as expected of the reincarnated descendant of our ancestor. It makes my blood boil just by looking at him. Bring it on." It's our turn to go on stage. As soon as he finished, 2 streaks of light shot out from the darkness. Buzz, buzz, rumble, rumble. A black shadow stopped in the air and grabbed the tail that was as fast as lightning. The tail couldn't move at all. It was completely bound by a powerful force. The other power descended and landed in front of Situ Feng. The instant he landed, the corners of his mouth curled up as he looked at Situ Feng and said softly, "Is that enough?" Boom, boom. A powerful explosion of demonic chi came crashing down. Bang, bang, Situ Feng's vicious beast legs knelt onto the ground. It was completely unable to withstand the pressure of the 10,000 devils released by the lone soul, and heavily knelt on the ground, not even able to raise its head. He gritted his teeth so hard that his voice was suppressed, as if his teeth were stuck in his throat. "Who are you?" Without waiting for Lonely Spirit to finish, Situ Feng gloomily asked again, "Do you know who I am?" At this moment, Guhan's right hand moved and slapped down. "I don't care who you are." Pa! Bam! The bee skin on half of Situ Feng's face had been smashed into smithereens when Situ Feng was smashed to the ground. What was a crushing defeat? This was it. With a slap, Situ Feng could not get up from the ground. He no longer had the same arrogant aura as before. With a glance of his eyes, he stared at Guhan and said, "My father is Nantian Sect's sect master." Pa! He slapped him again. Guhan smiled and said, "What did you say just now?" "Ah!" Situ Feng roared, "Flying army attack." It was also at this time. Wild Ghost smiled slightly and said, "Are you talking about them?" As soon as he finished speaking, bang, 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 all of the flying army disciples in the City Lord's mansion exploded and died. Their hearts exploded and they vomited blood. In less than a second, they had killed 1,000 people. It was still Nantian Sect's trump card. Instant kill. Long Fei's heart was aching. His liver was trembling too. How much experience did this 1,000-man team have? His heart ached. If he gave them all to him, what the hell? Long Fei cursed in his heart. This time, he was already in a coma, and had been flung unconscious by Situ Feng's huge tail of a ferocious beast. If Wild Ghost did not grab hold of that huge tail, Long Fei would have died. Now, he only operated the idea, so he was clear about what was happening around him. They were stunned by the appearance of these 2 elders. Situ Feng's eyes darkened. His heart became even more furious, and he said, "I don't care who you are. Once you provoke me, Situ Feng, I will screw off all 18 generations of your ancestors. You're still being arrogant? You're still so arrogant after being so arrogant? Do you think your parasitic berserk beasts are very powerful? Do you think that the forbidden devil arts in your forbidden grounds is very powerful? Those are only the leftovers from our ancestors' game. Guhun said. He was here to cause trouble, and the god's devil ancient case that Situ Feng knew of had immense power, and the thing that could allow him to level up quickly was something that he had said. He was the director of all this. All for his life was precisely to kill young Master Nantion and cause Nantion's sect to become angry. Situ Feng's eyes darkened and asked again, "Who exactly are you?" "Who am I? I am a member of the 8 great demon sects. Don't you feel the demonic aura on my body? Ha ha! You want revenge? Then let's look for the 8 great demon sects. Ha!" As soon as he finished, Guhun held Situ Feng up to the air with one hand and said with dark eyes, "You should leave an idea in Nantion sect's Situ family ancestral hall, right? If you die, your spirit tablet will shatter." Situ Feng. "Go to hell." Situ Feng trembled. His parasitic beast quickly transformed back into Situ Feng's original body as it frantically struggled. "No, no. Don't kill me. Never been so afraid. Never." As Nantion sect's young sect master, he never knew what fear was. Even if he had been defeated by Hong Tianjun that time, he had never felt afraid because he was Situ Feng, Nantion sect's young sect master, and the #1 sect in the entire South Horizon region, young sect master. His father was also a war god realm level expert. Who dared to touch him? But now, he could feel the arrival of death. Little by little, a cold, gloomy aura began to crawl up his mind. Even the beast that he was nurturing began to shiver. Death descended. Lonely Spirit's voice was extremely soft. He whispered into Situ Feng's ear, "Do you know who I am? I am an elder of the demonic sect. Do you know who Long Fei is? It's the reincarnation of the sky demon. He is also my master, and also the future supreme expert of the demon race. You touched him. Then you're tired of living." Situ Feng's eyes widened in anger, as his pupils dilated and dilated. Long Fei was their master? What did the demonic sect want to do? Was it going to rise up again and trample all the sects beneath his feet? Shock. But he didn't have time to be shocked, because Lonely Spirit's right hand exerted force, and the powerful demon energy turned into a spiderweb of lines that wrapped around Situ Feng bit by bit and fiercely exploded. Boom! It was also at this time. Long Fei's heart rose to his throat as he prayed in his heart. "Please bless my old master. You must kill him. You must kill him." Long Fei would be unhappy if he did not kill him. Without a doubt, Situ Feng was a boss, one that could explode into pieces. The experience of the Avian Legion could be forgiven. However, Situ Feng must die. He must explode. A loud sound echoed out. Situ Feng's human form had changed into that of an ancient beast. His entire body exploded into a cloud of blood. Long Fei and the idea were boiling. According to the rules set by the system, as long as the person or monster that he dealt damage to died within a certain period of time, the experience would be his. Explode, explode, explode. A system announcement rang out in Long Fei's mind. Ding! Chapter 48_8419/2356683. Haha! Haha! Long Fei was excited. Release your striking attribute. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for killing Situ Feng * the ancient devil for gaining experience. True chi point. Energy values +10. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Ancient Devil Soul. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Ancient Devil Blood Vein. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining the Ancient Devil's Heart. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Magic Panacea Furnace. Congratulations to player Long Fei for obtaining Spirit Stones. 219. Ding! Congratulations player Long Fei for defeating Situ Feng's * Ancient Beast. Rewards. Alchemy Technique level +1. Refining Techniques level +1. Beast Mastery level +1. The system notification rang out. Long Fei was a little confused. Damn, what's going on? Other than a magic panacea furnace, they were all ancient devil. It's not even as good as the items rewarded by the system. Whoosh! Notification. The soul of the ancient devil has been devoured by the god's devil ancient case. Ding! Notification. The ancient vicious demon blood vein has been devoured by the dragon's salure. Another 2 notifications sounded. Long Fei became even more foolish and scolded directly. We might as well devour the heart of the ancient devil. How can we live? Yin Huang ancestor said slightly, This thing, let me eat it. 2 glances. Xiaobai and Ice and Fire were the same. The heart of the ancient devil was still beating wildly, as if it was still alive. Long Fei looked at the greedy gazes of the 3 of them, and his heart shivered. He immediately said, No one is allowed to touch him without my order, otherwise your JJ will be broken. Ancestor, tell me, do you think this ancient fiendish demon heart is powerful? If they wanted to eat it, it would be a good thing. Yin Huang ancestor swallowed his saliva and replied, It's not powerful at all. What's so powerful about it? Trash. Look at how fresh blood is. I was afraid that I would dirty your space ring. That's why I said I ate it. Long Fei's eyes turned sinister. Damn, you're lying to me? Patriarch, you're still too tender. Xiaobai, tell me. Just as Xiaobai wanted to say something, the old ancestor's eyes looked at him, and he immediately lost his temper and said, It's really just like what the old ancestor said. It's useless. It's trash. Ice and Fire obediently replied in advance. It's trash. It's useless. Oh, so it's like that. Long Fei looked at Yin Huang ancestor. Suddenly, the idea moved and said, Devour. Ding. Do you want to devour the heart of the ancient vicious demon? Long Fei said, Devour. I must devour. Ding. Ancient devil's heart. Devour. The heart disappeared. Yin Huang ancestor was dumbstruck. He stared at Long Fei with his mouth agape and said, You ate it? Long Fei said, That's right. Since it's trash, I can only eat it myself. You guys are all fellows who eat holy artifact and spirit stones. Of course, this kind of trash can only be left for me. What's wrong? The ancestor was completely dumbfounded as he stared blankly at Long Fei and asked, Do you know what that is? Long Fei replied, I know. The heart of an ancient beast, it's just trash. Trash. Yin Huang ancestor was on the verge of tears. That is the heart of an ancient beast. How can you eat it? That is the power and profound chi of an ancient beast. How can you eat it? My ancient beast heart. There's no point in living anymore. Not interesting at all. Long Fei said, You're the one who said trash. If you say that the ancient beast heart is a good thing, a top quality item, then I will definitely leave it for you. Don't you know how good I am to you? So many holy artifacts have all been given to you to eat. Yin Huang ancestor, Xiaobai and Bing Huan nearly had internal injuries and couldn't hold it in anymore. Long Fei continued to ask, Ancestor, you have yet to tell me what the heart of an ancient beast does. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I want to die. Yin Huang ancestor rolled his eyes and immediately disappeared. He no longer wanted to come out and talk with Long Fei. Long Fei muttered, Just what kind of power is it? Boom! Bang, 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 bang. Long Fei's heavenly demon body's heartbeat was 2 times faster than before. The speed of the blood vein circulation was also twice as fast, and the strength of his body also instantly increased. All his stats had risen in an instant. Huh? What's the situation? Long Fei felt an inexplicably strong impact, and his entire body became excited. Ancestor, is this the power of the heart of an ancient beast? The profound chi has been completely absorbed, directly strengthening my body. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for increasing his physical strength. Current level, Saint Body. Ding! Congratulations to player Long Fei for leveling up his devil body. Current level, level 4 God's devil body. Ha ha! Second level holy body. Fourth level God's devil body. I didn't expect the ancient devil's heart to increase my physical body's grade. Ancestor, how is it? My level 2 sacred body is very sharp, right? My level 4 God's devil body is very strong, right? Ha ha! Long Fei laughed extremely happily. Yin Huang, ancestor. He didn't want to talk. He didn't want to say a word. Just as Sidu Feng was killed, his body fell and was held back by Wild Ghost. Lonely Soul and Wild Ghost walked to the front of the 8 demon sect disciples and lightly said, "He is the reincarnation of the sky demon, your supreme devil. You can take it back now." The matter had been settled. Now, he had to rely on Long Fei's own. He had to rely on his own ability to subdue the 8 great demon sects in order to become the supreme demon king. The elders from the Blood Sea sect walked out, looked at the 2 elders, and asked, "Who exactly are the 2 seniors?" Another elder walked over and said, "You said that it was someone from the 8 great demon sect. You are forcing them into a corner, and if young Master Nantian dies, Nantian sect will definitely attack the 8 great demon sect. You even let us take this brat and say that he is our supreme expert? Do you want to trap us, the 8 great demon sects, into a bottomless abyss? You're right. Even if this brat is the reincarnation of a sky demon, we can't bring him back to the demon sect. We definitely won't bring anyone back, no matter what. He is a scourge." They simply did not recognize Long Fei's identity. Everything was as both Lonely Spirit and Wild Ghost had expected. The people of the 8 demon sects were as timid as a mouse. They needed a strong rancor to lead them, and Long Fei was the most suitable person. Because Long Fei was a madman. Gu Hun laughed blandly. This kid still has a God's devil ancient case on him. The great elder of the Blood Sea sect immediately smiled and said, "They are not willing to bring him, but I will." No matter what, he forced young Master Nan Tian into a corner, and is the most talented person in our demon race. God's devil ancient case? Immediately, the people from the 8 demonic sects all took a step forward and said, "I'll take it. I'll take it too. He is an example to our 8 great demon sections. You too can rest assured. We will bring him to meet the demon race." Wild Ghost faintly smiled, placed his palm on Long Fei's back, and said, "Rest for a while." As a surge of power entered his body, Long Fei fell into a deep slumber. Chapter 5 equals /float. Life plus, he had to say something. "I had a bad year this year, desperately trying to code words and getting scolded every day. What am I aiming for? I'm not a teenager. I'm a middle-aged uncle in my 30s. I have families to look after on both sides, and after the new year, I can be said to be constantly busy, doing my best to update as early as possible. Even if I have to play around with relatives and friends, I don't dare to go to meetings with classmates and friends. I think about having a large number of readers waiting for me to update, and I also think about tomorrow's chapter, tomorrow's mission, and the plot. Everyone read it slowly. Wouldn't it be better if I wrote it slowly? Must it be the new year? Sorry. This nonsense cost you money. I'm sorry. 8_8419/2356684. Huff, huff. Long Fei took a deep breath, then took it in. The scent of a woman entered his nose, causing his nerves to tighten and his eyes to open. "You're awake?" Xiaqin's mature, charming face entered Long Fei's eyes. There was a tinge of haggardness in his eyes, as well as an unconcealable worry and anxiety. Seeing that Long Fei had woken up, she let out a soft sigh, as the heavy burden in her heart had finally dropped. She knew what happened in the City Lord's mansion. He also knew about Situ Feng transforming into an ancient beast. He also knew that Long Fei had endured a lot of pain. Long Fei smiled faintly and said, "I feel very happy to see you when I wake up." It felt good to have someone to worry about. Long Fei had never experienced this before. In this life, many people were worried about him, and this feeling of being worried about him was really good. And then, Long Fei looked at his surroundings, and his brows slightly tightened. "Where are we?" Sietchin laughed bitterly and said, "Evil sound sex confinement realm." Huh. Long Fei's body moved. He sat up and said, "How did I get here?" Wait. Long Fei's brain began to frantically think about what had happened in the City Lord's palace. I remember back then when I finished devouring the heart of the ancient devil. Then, the two experts handed me over to the 8 great demon sections. The people from the 8 demon sects didn't want to accept me. The god's devil ancient case. My space ring. Long Fei moved his finger, and the space ring that was on his finger disappeared. The demonic set was still inside. The Thunder Dragon Rod, the Death-Calling God Seal was still inside. Dragon Salure, Autumn Waterblade was still inside. The God's Devil Ancient Case was still inside. Opportunity. Everything is in the space ring S. Holy SH asterisk T. Long Fei immediately scolded angrily. Every single one of them was a top-grade spirit treasure, and every single one of them was lifeblood. Without these, how could he continue to be like this in the future? I want to retrieve my space ring. Long Fei's heart trembled. He had to get it back. If anyone dares to touch this daddy's thing, I will definitely make them regret coming to this world. I don't care about anything else. However, these things were all exchanged with Long Fei's life. There were still a few SSS-level missions that he had to rely on to complete and had now lost. How could he tolerate this rage? At this moment, Yin Huang Ancestor coughed lightly and said, "Don't be anxious. I have set a restriction on your space ring. In this world, only you can open the spirit space ring." That's impossible. He still had that much confidence. Long Fei's heart relaxed, but he still worriedly asked, "What if they get angry and split the storage ring? Even if we can't split open, what if it is destroyed?" "Ancestor, that is all I have. You know it." This was truly terrifying. Yin Huang Ancestor said indifferently, "Don't worry. Although my strength right now is not strong, I'm still strong enough to protect a ring. Even the world's top refining masters cannot open it. So how can I destroy it? That would be even more impossible." "Is that so? F***CK. Why didn't you say so earlier? My heart was beating so fast." Long Fei protected his chest. His expression was filled with panic. Sietchin immediately asked worriedly, "What's wrong? Where's the pain?" Long Fei laughed faintly. "It's fine, it doesn't hurt anywhere now." Since the space ring could not be opened nor destroyed, Long Fei was not worried. Anyway, if anyone dared to touch his ring and make him unhappy, then he... "Oh, that's good." Sietchin looked at Long Fei's original body and smiled. Long Fei laughed. "Did I get attracted by the handsome guy's charming appearance? It's attracting your attention. I'm already old enough to be your aunt, and I'm attracted." Sietchin made fun of her. Long Fei was indeed very powerful, very arrogant, very domineering. Any girl would be attracted by his unique charisma. However, she was a woman in her 30s. Even if she was attracted to Long Fei, she would still maintain her clarity of mind. Long Fei laughed and said, "So what? What aunt? You look 1 or 2 years older than me. I'll call you sister." Long Fei glanced at Sietchin then. His gaze uncontrollably fell on Sietchin's large chest, and he immediately said, "Elder sister." Sietchin knew that Long Fei was looking at her chest, but he couldn't help but become happy. "You little rogue, don't you think that your sister's tofu is not enough?" I was born with a love for tofu, fried and cooked." Long Fei immediately played dumb. He had to say it. Sietchin only looked to be around 21 to 22 years old, and she looked a lot more mature than those girls that were around 20 years old. And then again, large breasts. Wow. Sietchin rolled his eyes at Long Fei and became serious. "Why aren't you worried? If you get locked up here, the people from the 8 great demon sects definitely won't let you go. Don't worry. Space Ring S couldn't open it, so he didn't need to worry." Long Fei saw that Sietchin's face was still pale white, so it was obvious that he was injured. "Huh? No. Sietchin didn't want Long Fei to worry about her. She had already been imprisoned for 50 years, and no matter what, she wouldn't be able to escape from this place in her entire life. 50 years. For a woman in her 30s, it was longer than a lifetime. Long Fei suddenly held Xie Qin's hand. Seeing the trace of blood on her arm, he pulled up his sleeves and looked, his expression suddenly changing. Xie Qin's entire arm was covered with a kind of scar. This kind of scar. It was made from sharp strings that were struck so deeply into the bone. It was as if the strings were striking the bone, and the strings also had a poison to them. It would never be better without the antidote. The venom coiled around him and seeped into his bones. His cultivation would not increase for the rest of his life. This punishment was too vicious. Long Fei had never seen it before. Long Fei exhaled lightly and asked while looking at Xie Qin, "Sis, is it painful?" Xie Qin laughed, shook his head, and said, "Not at all." When she knelt at the evil sound palace, she thought that her impulse towards Long Fei would cause her to regret and ask herself, was it worth it for her to do so? Tu Miao Tu Bai. Tu Pavilion 2, Tu now. There was nothing more worth it, she felt. If he was still a girl, she would definitely jump into Long Fei's embrace without a care. Long Fei gently lowered Xie Qin's arm, suppressed the anger in his heart, and said, "Sis, don't worry. I'll bring you out immediately. I'll refine the antidote for you right now." Long Fei walked up to the entrance of the dungeon, lowered his voice, and roared, "Open the door for this daddy." Chapter 18_8419/2356685. Go out, go out, refining an antidote. The twisting sound poison could be cured. In this world, perhaps only the sect master of the evil sound sect could cure him of this poison. Even the god's devil ancestor back then would not be able to cure him of this poison. Xie Qin also knew in his heart that he was unable to open it. The reason she didn't say anything was because he was Long Fei. Long Fei's voice continuously reverberated within the trapped sound prison, and not a single sound was emitted. "Open the door for lousy." Wong. This time, Long Fei used the true qi and roared again. The voice from the trapped sound heavenly prison echoed even more violently. The weak Xie Qin could not take it anymore. She did not reveal it and faintly said, "It's useless. This confinement prison is a sound-trapped doom. The voice from inside cannot be transmitted out." This was created by the ancestor of the evil sound sect, a place specially used to punish disciples. There was a sound wave all around. No entity. There was no door. It was a very strange formation. Long Fei's forehead turned sinister as he gritted his teeth and said, "I don't believe it either." His hands sank. He directly rushed into the sound wave, and the moment his body touched the sound wave, a buzzing sound could be heard. His ears felt like they were about to bleed. It was extremely uncomfortable. Long Fei's head was blown away as if it was about to explode. F***CK. Ambush in all directions. The impact of the sonic wave just now was like an ambush. His mind almost couldn't bear it. If it wasn't for the fact that he had a saint body of the second rank, he would probably have been crushed by it. It was also at this time. Ha ha ha, ha ha, ha. Outside of the sound wave, a group of people walked in. Evil Sound Sect Master, Evil Girl Saints. The Sect Master of the Blood Sea Sect, Qiu Wantian. The Sect Master of the Blood Refinement Sect, Yin Yu. The Sect Leader of the Mountain and Sea Sect, Qi Mei. The 8 great Sect Masters had all gathered. Their eyes were ice cold as they looked at Long Fei, who was inside the confining sound prison, and their faces carried ridicule and ridicule. Evil Girl Saints disdainfully said, "Kid, what do you think this place is? How could a trash like you break through the confinement sound prison?" "He's simply overestimating himself." Qiu Wantian also sneered. "Let alone you, even the god's devil ancestor back then didn't know how to break out of this celestial confinement prison. You're asking for trouble." Ha! The 8 sect leaders all laughed in unison. At this time, Xie Qin rushed forward and directly knelt in front of Evil Girl Saints, begging, "Master, you can punish me, don't punish him." Humph! Unfilial disciple. The center of Evil Girl Saints' brows shook. His eyes stared angrily as he said, "I asked you to bewitch him into opening the space ring. Why didn't you do anything?" You still dare to say that you two aren't having an affair? Bitch! Long Fei was immediately annoyed. You can scold him. But scolding his friends was impossible. What's more, Xiaqin was his savior, his big sister. Big sister, that's even worse. Long Fei pointed at the evil girl saints outside of the sound wave and cursed. You ugly bastard, if you want to be weaker than me. Who can be weaker than you? Are you suffering from endocrine disorders and Alzheimer's disease? That's not right. You are already an old woman in her 70s and 80s. How can you have any endocrine disorders? You've long since lost your eldest aunt. Tell me, how old are you now that you're not even here with your aunt anymore? If I were you, I would have killed myself with a mace. Cursing? Long Fei was invincible. She couldn't stand Long Fei's words. What big aunt, Wolf Fang mace? Even if she didn't understand it, she would know what it was. Anger raged in his heart. Without waiting for her to explode, Long Fei's eyes stared straight and continued to curse. What? Yearning for fire? You said you're already this old, so it's better not to make a fuss. If you get angry, you'll grow old even faster. Look at the wrinkles on the corner of your eyes. What are you looking at me for? They say that women are 30 like wolves, 40 like tigers, and 50 like tigers that can suck dirt. I think you're not the only one who can breathe. I think you can suck mountains. If you can't hold it in and find a sharp stone to touch it, can't you make me forge a spiked mace for you? That would be great, even my aunt would come. Poochie. Ha ha. Poochie. The other sect heads of the 8 great demon sects could not hold it in any longer. If they continued to hold it in, they would suffer internal injuries. Long Fei was too good at cursing. Evil Girl Saints' face turned green, then red, as though he had suffered a strong attack. He was unable to retort back to Long Fei. Right now, she wanted to strangle Long Fei to death. Xiaqin kneeled on the ground and pulled Long Fei's clothes. Stop it. Long Fei helped Xiaqin up immediately and pointed to Xiaqin's chest. Even though your chest is bigger than yours, I can see that you're shriveled and shriveled up, and might as well have hung 2 steam buns on it every day. Competing in looks, F***CK. Do you have a face? 38-year-old face, asymmetrical. How many layers of powder are there on it? Compared to your body, the way you look at your waist makes me nauseous. I want to compare if you have legs. Old granny, do you have legs? Any woman can be cheap because she has the right to be, and you don't even have the right to be, old woman. Every time, it got fiercer and fiercer. This time, it directly created a critical hit. Puff. Evil Girl Saints immediately spat out a mouthful of blood, and a bright red damage appeared on top of her head. 1,000,000 damage. It was a complete mess. Evil Girl Saints' face was pale. He stared at Long Fei and said, I want to kill you. I want to kill you. Long Fei had a cheap look on his face as he said, Come on. If you have the guts, come and bite me. You'll bite me if I bite you. F***K. Evil Girl Saints was burning with anger. His entire body was trembling. Right now, she just wanted to tear Long Fei into pieces, especially that mouth, which needed to be stitched together bit by bit with needles. Even if she became a ghost, it wouldn't give him the chance to speak again. Long Fei's heart stirred as the idea sent a sound transmission. Wait until the Holy Maiden opens the confining sound prison. I'll pull you along. We'll rush out together. He was trying to enrage the Evil Girl Saints. He had to seize this moment to charge out. However, Evil Girl Saints seemed to be clear of everything. His fingers almost touched the mechanism to open the sky prison. He suddenly stopped and laughed sinisterly. You want to enrage me so I can open the sky prison to escape? Ha! You think I'm fooled by you? Long Fei did not reveal any expression, but instead, he paid his respects to the 18 generations of ancestors of the Evil Girl Saints in his heart. The other sect leaders' expressions also changed. Qiu Wantian said, The Holy Maiden is indeed the Holy Maiden. I was able to see through her in one go, haha. Baidu search, half afloat kid. You should just stay put. Obediently release the seal on the space ring and hand the god's devil ancient case over. Long Fei grinned and said, You can't open the god's devil ancient case, right? Is it good? Chapter 28_8419/2356686. From the looks of it, it was indeed, as Yin Huang ancestor had said, they could not do anything with the seal on the space ring. In that case, Long Fei was even less worried. Evil girl Saints wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth and said coldly, Long Fei, you're still too inexperienced. You think I'm fooled by you? I'm the sect master of Evil Sound Sect. How could I be angered by your words? Evil girl Saints showed a very mighty look. Actually, she had been suppressing her anger the entire time, wishing that she could tear Long Fei into pieces. Others might not know, but Long Fei was very clear that the 1,000,000 points of damage from the critical hit was not fake. Chimei lost his patience and said, Don't waste time talking to him. Let him quickly release the seal on the space ring. We will take apart the God's Devil ancient case. We can talk about other things later. Chimei is right. Young Master Nantian has been killed. This matter has been pushed to the head of our devil sect. Long Fei quickly released the seal on the space ring. They were very anxious. They were well aware of young Master Nantian's death and knew that Nantian's sect would definitely not let them off. However, they did not want to give up on their God's Devil ancient cases. In their opinion, the reason why Long Fei was able to fight against Sidu Feng was all because of the power within the God's Devil ancient case. It was enough to make anyone excited. Evil girl Saints also shouted, Hurry and release the seal on the space ring. At this moment, Long Fei was very pleased with himself. With a face full of pride, he turned around and walked to the stone bed. Sure, kneel down and beg me. All of you, submit to me. I will consider giving you all the ultimate treasures from the God's Devil ancient cases. All of them are God's Devil Blade S, God's Devil Loot S, Sky Demon Armors. Everything and this is the most basic treasure. The God's Devil ancient case are also hiding such a big secret. Do you want to know? Haha. Kneel down and submit to me, and I will tell you. As long as all the sect heads of the 8 great sects kneel down, then his S-grade demon sovereign mission would be considered as completed. Then everything would be easy. You should kill. Damn it, die. Long Fei leisurely sat on the bedside with a complacent expression. Evil girl Saints' face suddenly dropped. His eyes revealed a sinister look and shouted, Long Fei, don't be too presumptuous. Haha, this brother is so impudent. Bite me if you dare. Long Fei's eyes stared wide open. He was extremely displeased with Evil girl Saints. He was in his 80s and was dressed like a flower lady, and was even the holy maiden. It wasn't disgusting either. The most crucial point, she had used a heavy punishment on Xie Qin. Unhappy, this was his greatest displeasure. Xiao Wantian's eyes darkened, and he said, Long Fei, what kind of dog forced us to kneel because of your identity? Do you think it's possible? You're right. We are the 8 great sect masters of the devil race. Even if you are the reincarnation of a sky demon, you don't have the qualifications to make us kneel down. His voice turned sinister. Many of the devil sect leaders were displeased. Long Fei laughed. I don't care anyway, since I'm the only one who can open this space ring. Once it disappears, it will disappear. Since there aren't any losses to me, you guys are different. You 8 great demon sects are part of the Sky Demon Clan. You can't even protect the things of the Master. Do you have the face to live in this world? Xiao Wantian squinted and did not wait for Long Fei to continue speaking and shouted, Long Fei, what exactly do you want? It's very simple. Kneel down, kowtow, submit to me. Long Fei said casually. Try it anyway. Even if it didn't work out, it didn't matter. There was still a lot of time left on the mission, so Long Fei was not worried. What if he succeeded? He wasn't at a disadvantage. Too arrogant. Evil girl Saint could not help but burst out and shouted, Do you really think that I can't deal with you while you are in the confinement realm? It was also at this moment. Xie Qin suddenly shouted loudly, Long Fei, be careful. Buzz buzz. A zither appeared in Evil girl Saint's hands. With a move of the zither, the demonic music penetrated out and turned into a sound wave zither strings that were as thin as silk. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. It directly penetrated through the sound wave and attacked Xiang Longfei. Xie used his body to block it. He cried out in pain as his body flipped in the air before falling to the ground and spitting out blood. The stones on the ground were cut into several pieces. The surface of the cut was extremely sharp and had traces of dark green venom on it. Sound twisting poison. Bone marrow. Bastard, you dare to block me? Evil girl Saints opened his eyes and shouted. Longfei's face changed drastically as he immediately rushed forward to support Xie. Sis, you. He felt pain in his heart. Then, Longfei's eyes were bloodshot, and he said, if you want me to open the seal on my storage ring, that's fine. Whoever kills the old granny, I will immediately give him the god's devil ancient case's spirit treasure. I, Longfei, will do what I say. Evil girl Saints' expression immediately darkened. The 7 sect masters all looked towards the evil girl Saints. Evil girl Saints scoffed slightly. Are you pig's brains? In that instant, it was true that the 7 sect masters wanted to kill, but, just as evil girl Saints had said, their actions were as stupid as pigs. Qiuwantian said, Longfei, stop playing tricks on me. You have no choice right now. Either open the ring and seal it, or die with her. Evil girl Saints coldly said in contempt, I'm the only one in this world who has the antidote for the sound-twisting poison. She has already been infected by the poison into her heart meridian. She won't be able to hold on for more than a few days. If you want her alive, then unseal the ring for me. At this moment, Longfei was very unhappy. His rage reached the heavens. If he were to rush out now, he would definitely give this old woman, evil girl Saints, a few big slaps. Longfei walked forward step by step and said, hand over the antidote first. The corner of evil girl Saints' mouth curled into a cold smile. You wouldn't dare to play any tricks. She could tell that Longfei valued Xie a lot. In his heart, he knew that Xie was Longfei's weakness. Then, evil girl Saints took out a pill, and with a flash, he placed it inside. Longfei took the pill and fed it to Xie. After the pill entered her body, the poison that was wrapped around her bones quickly recovered. Xie face also recovered its color as he smiled faintly at Longfei and said, thank you. Longfei forced out a smile and said, sis, I've let you down. Finished. Longfei walked forward and said, hand over the ring. Evil girl Saints looked at Qiuwantian and said, leave it to him. Qiuwantian was a little reluctant, but he also knew that it would be useless even if he couldn't open it with the space ring. He walked forward and said, Longfei, you better behave yourself. Table of contents. The space ring landed in Longfei's hands. Suddenly, Longfei's ideas sank. 3-rate peerless technique. Dragon Salyer, come out. Chapter 38_8419/2356688. As soon as his voice faded, the Dragon Salyer S were summoned and landed in Longfei's hands. 3-rate peerless technique, an 8-fold increase in strength. Buzz! Longfei held onto the Dragon Salyer tightly and bellowed. I don't believe that this mere sound wave can withstand the power of the Dragon Salyer. Boom! Dragon Spirit Killer. Roar! A Dragon Spirit Shadow was released and rushed towards the sound wall. The 8 sect leaders all paled, shocked by the power of Longfei's sudden slash. Several sect heads were sent flying. Only evil girl Saints stood there motionlessly, his face carrying a disdainful sneer. Rumble, rumble, rumble. The Dragon Spirit Shadow entered the sound wall and got lost. The strength of the Dragon Salyer was even more shocking. Clang! The Dragon Salyer flew out of his hands. Longfei's arms were really numb, and his mind was buzzing loudly. It was as if a huge bell had exploded in his body, and it was unbearable. Useless. The power of the Dragon Spirit Killer was completely useless against the sonic wave wall. Evil girl Saints laughed coldly. Brat, you want to play tricks with me? You're courting death. As soon as he finished, evil girl Saints fiddled with his fingers, and the dazzling sound of a zither entered the cage, sound heavenly prison like a ghost. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Asterisk Long Fei kept on dodging, but by the time he reacted, it was already too late. Because the thin sound barrier was not aimed at him, but at Xie who was on the ground. Bam! Xie body was flung out from the impact. Bam! 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 His chest, waist, long legs, and peerless face were all covered in a fine, spiderweb-like line of blood. His entire body was covered in sonic poison. His body seemed to have been cut into countless pieces by the net. Xie continuously spat out blood. Long Fei's anger in his heart rose up to 100,000 meters, and he roared loudly. Old woman Xie, I'll fuck your ancestors. Too cruel. I have seen cruel things, but I have never seen anything more cruel than the evil girl Saints. Evil girl Saints laughed coldly and said, Didn't you say that her breasts are beautiful? Was her waist slender and her legs long? Was her face beautiful? And now? Waha! You must be even more beautiful. Sinister. It was incomparably sinister. Even the expressions of the other 7 great sect masters turned cold, stunned by evil girl Saints' methods. Long Fei clenched his teeth and said, No matter what, she is still your disciple. Why is she so sinister? Evil girl Saints laughed coldly. Disciple? If she's my disciple, then you should listen to me obediently and hand over the god's devil ancient case. But she didn't. Therefore, she is not qualified to be my disciple. Besides, you have to be prepared to become my disciple. Ha! You dog, this is the result of playing tricks on me. I can save her, I can destroy her, and we can fight? Are you qualified to fight against me? His voice was like thunder, striking one after another onto Long Fei's mind. Long Fei was thoroughly enraged. Evil girl Saints laughed complacently and said, Her injuries are even worse than before. You want the antidote? It's like listening to me like a dog, you understand? Don't be in such a hurry to answer. She still has 3 days of life left. I'll come back again in 3 days. I'll give you 3 days to think carefully before you answer. Finished. Evil girl Saints looked coldly at the dying Xie, his eyes filled with sinister intent, and said, Scoundrel! He waved his sleeve. He walked out with large strides. The expressions of the 7 sect leaders changed, and they swiftly followed up. He had to say it. Evil girl Saints' courage was the strongest amongst them. His methods were sinister and ruthless, using any means possible to reach his goal. Long Fei couldn't suppress the anger in his heart any longer, so he ran over to Xie side and asked, Sis, are you all right? Xie face was as pale as thin paper. He smiled weakly. Big Sis is fine. Don't worry about me. Do whatever you want. Big Sis will support you. At this moment, Xie still did not regret the choice he had made. She was even glad of her choice. Long Fei clenched his fists tightly, his nails digging into the flesh of his palms, causing dark red blood to drip down. He was extremely unhappy. He wanted to vent, but how? The celestial prison was a formation. He didn't understand the principles behind formations at all. He didn't have enough time to study formations. Looking at Xie weak appearance, Long Fei felt very upset. He said lightly, I will definitely take you out. I will definitely save you. Xie smiled and said, I believe you. Long Fei's heart once again hurt. Xiao Bai, ice and fire, all of you come out. Boom, boom. Xiao Bai's face was filled with anger. That old granny is too vicious, treating her own disciple with such cruelty. Can she even be considered human? I just want to spray her to death. Xiao Bai said. It should be like Master said, use a mace to stab her to death. Long Fei's voice sank and said, I'm not calling you out for nonsense. I'm asking you to think of a way to break this formation. On one side of this huge celestial prison was a sound wave wall. The other 3 sides are as hard as diamond, and it was possible that this place was a mountain, so it would be unrealistic to break through these hard rocks. If he wanted to break the array, he could only find a hole in the wall of sound waves. Xiaobai and Bing had checked it carefully. Long Fei was the same. Xiaqin said in a faint voice, "It's useless. I've seen the records of the confining sky prison. Even the god's devil ancestor is unable to break this sound barrier, so I don't know where the eye of the formation is." Long Fei, don't worry about me. This place was formed by the heavens and the earth. Where was the core of the formation? Even if the formation masters could not find it, even the evil girl saints would not know. I'm afraid only the ancestors knew of this secret. I wonder where the core of the formation is. Long Fei thought about it fiercely. I've broken the dragon-locked tactical method and the killing array. I don't believe that I can't break it. 3 days. He only had 3 days. Xiaqin's life also only had 3 days. Long Fei sat cross-legged and began with the most basic of array formations. Bit by bit, the first day passed. Long Fei still did not have a clue. The next day passed. Still no. On the third day, Long Fei still did not find anything related to the array core. His array was still at the elementary level. He was simply unable to comprehend the profoundness of the array. At this moment, Evil Girl Saints walked in once again with the 7 sect masters. Evil Girl Saints' face was full of pride. "Brat, have you decided yet?" Long Fei looked at the ugly face that he was so proud of, and anger rushed into his head. Evil Girl Saints smiled slightly. "You think a trash like you can break the sound trap array? How ridiculous!" Disdain was written all over his face. Pride. Xiaqin knelt down weakly and said, "Master, please spare him. Equals semi / floating life plus humph. Slut." Evil Girl Saint said coldly. Suddenly, Long Fei's eyes lit up, grinned, and said, "You can't break this bullshit formation, right? This old man will break it for you now." Chapter 48_8419/2356689. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.